Hey, hope all of you are having a nice evening. And obviously, also hope all of you had a nice Christmas. It's been a while. I've not been getting to stream much lately, but I've been playing a little over the holidays off stream. So we actually have quite a bit of change happening in Los Vagos, which the first one, and probably very obvious one to most of you, are these signs, and I'm wholeheartedly excited. I know that some people have issues with those signs, which is very curious to me, because for me, these have been absolutely flawless. No issue at all. They work great and cause absolutely no issues. But yes, on Skype, this Right Everywhere pack is marked as broken right now, which again, curious to me. I would be very interested in finding out why these things are behaving different in case anybody knows. Because again, I've seen people say they have issues with this, as well as it being marked broken in Skype, but then very clearly we are not having any issues with it, and it's working very nicely for us. And I do think it really does add a lot to the vibe. Like even this in the horrible light it is in right now, I'm a gigantic fan of these. Very happy how these signs have turned out, and generally I put a bit of work in vegetation here. So finally, this side of Los Vagos is slowly starting to come together, especially because we've been going pretty hard on these blocks here. I've been finally working out a layout of this, which honestly, I've been fighting this area for a long time. Ignore everything past this road, like on our side of this road. Everything north of that road, from where we're looking at, is pretty much locked in stone by now. And I've rebuilt this many times. Usually I'm fairly quick at figuring out areas and need like one or two goes at it. This area I've had to touch and move on and revisit many times till I wholeheartedly been happy with it. Now I think I am wholeheartedly happy with it, so getting there, but yeah, it's been taking us quite a while to get there. And there is a lot of work in this area left as well. The only area that, again, is not detailed out yet, but the one area that's a bit more complete here is this one. And these buildings have kind of slipped under my radar a bit because we didn't really play the game after Bridges and Ports, but they are stunning. There's been a lot of really pretty vanilla assets added as well. I know we're all excited about the asset editor, and yes, there is amazing things in the asset editor, but I'm personally a big fan of many of the vanilla assets as well. And these are, well, I shouldn't say new, because I guess for most people they are not new. But since we did not play very much, for me they are pretty new. And I love the look of it. Is very typical American strip mall to me. I know the brands we use here are mainly Canadian, so is a bit wild, I guess, but then we don't really have the expectation to be super realistic here, and we don't really have any real life reference for any of our build. So wholeheartedly, I don't think it's a bit or a big problem if we use brands from different places. But yes, looking a bit closer at this definitely is kinda incorrect. Yeah, let's dive in. I don't know what we're gonna build on today. The truth is, I've been jumping back and forth really a lot lately. We've been building on this very area back here, which I also wanna still keep building on and continue. This is the build that we've done the last time. We made some progress here. Hey, welcome in, Mother. And I'm gonna, no pressure for you, Mother, but I'm gonna tell you one thing, and it's goddamn City Skyline has not been this fun, at least to me personally, in a while. Part of it is the asset editor, but really, in general, the game is running very smooth, and not just the asset editor, because I didn't really play the game much since Bridges and Ports, so there's been Bridges and Ports and the bike DLC and the asset editor, so I'm a bit overwhelmed. There is so much new amazing stuff in the game that wholeheartedly I'm enjoying it a lot. I know you're on the Anno grind right now, but maybe the Anno grind can free you sometime. Because look at this, Maza. Look at what difference it makes to see something like this. Just actual true cars, especially the Miatas, are so goddamn cute. Or something that I think has not been a thing when you were playing either. Oh, why is there two people on top of each other? This is a bit of a. Oh my god, this is not just two. Holy, there is many people on top of each other. I guess we have to fix this up. Ignore the ones I showed you there till we do the same. Why is this happening? Why is there so many in all of these? I clicked all of them once. Oh, we're gonna have to revisit. Why is this happening? I'm wholeheartedly confused. I'm fairly sure I placed them a single time. Let's have a look, because I was gonna tell you how cool it is that we have those new sitting props, and yes, it is very, very cool. So I still stand by that. But then, what is happening with the Sims being this weird here? Maybe it's because we're placing them with snapping, or maybe we've moved it. If we moved it, it's entirely our bad. Because yes, if you move those around, they do some weird things. Yeah, be careful. Some of those new assets can definitely also break your game. So don't just. I've been having a few people who have been telling that. Don't just sub to everything. I know it's tempting and there is a lot of good stuff, but I would always recommend to maybe sub to a few things at once and then revisit and see if those are running smoothly and then add more. But I would never add too much at once. It's gonna bite you in the ass eventually if you do so. But yes, there is amazing stuff. And again, even some of the new vanilla things we've gotten are amazing. Like I wholeheartedly have not enjoyed cities this much till before Bridges and Ports. I thought the game was in a pretty good spot prior to Bridges and Ports. And then there was a few pretty lackluster patches, in my personal opinion. But yeah, now I'm really liking it again. And let's see if this happens again, because hopefully not. I don't know why that happened. We want actually one with three people here. And we click it down. Let's see if this is actually one per. It's multiple again. Why is this multiple? Did you just see that? When yeah, look, he's there twice at least. It's only twice, but why? Because there is one thing I notice happening. Yeah, he's there twice as well. You can see it when he's moving. Welcome in, Riza. Maybe you have an idea for what is happening here, Riza, because I am. We have something very curious happening. We just removed some of these sitting people, and we get them multiple times. Look, I placed him. I placed this once. This guy sitting here twice. And every time the camera moves, you can see so. And I don't understand why this is happening, because I know that this is happening if you use Move It. Move It is not a friend of the sitting Sims. It will not work smoothly with it. So that is pretty much expected. What is not expected at all, though, is that even the normal benches and seats are having some weird behavior in this. Let's see, are these there just once? She's there twice. Can you see this? Or is this a problem of the animation? Is this because we're snapping? Because I don't think this has been happening in the ground. Sorry, we're not even detailing right now. We're just trying to troubleshoot. I meant to just detail instead, but this is tripping me out. What is going on here if we do the same? Is it? Because before, I actually think it's multiple. Because before we had this happen even more extreme, where you could clearly see there is multiple people sitting, right? Because for example, if we take move it and we move this bench, every time we move it, we place a new person, right? So these are pretty much uncompatible with move it, because this is what you will get. And it feels like when you have snapping enabled, there is something weird happening as well where it places multiple. I'm not sure yet. That's why we are looking at it and trying out. Because really, the move it issue is expected, right? Because what happens basically, or how Sully built those sims, is that they are connected to. Ah, damn it, that base is annoying me. Let's move this slightly. Okay, perfect. But they are locked to the chair, right? And then they spawn once we move it. They keep respawning on pretty much every position because the table tells them to respawn. What I'm confused about is just this, which again it might be just animation, but I've not noticed this in the past with some others. So now I'm not sure. Is he sitting here twice? Because you can see, I think he's sitting there twice. Yeah, gladly check as well, Riza, because I would be very interested in finding that out. Because again, I've not played that much yet, and I've not had too much of a look at the citizens. So bear with me. I'm not sure how well I'm analyzing this. But what is very weird to me is that it only happens to some of them, right? Like this person, for example, is absolutely flawless. I was going to say that, and then something weird happened. But this person is pretty flawless, at least compared to the other one. But then it just looks like he's there twice, really. I don't. Maybe this is an animation problem, but I'm not sold on that yet. I'm not having trouble with local decals. Why so? I'm having trouble moving some of my local decals to the online version. But it is just because the obsolete identifier gotten changed a bit in the way it works, and I would love to move Gaga surfaces to the online version. But I've been working I've been testing with Gaga surfaces always before we release them. And nowadays, he builds a mod of them before he sends them to me for testing. But originally, he did not tend to do that. So I have a lot of local mod data files from Gaga that I would really love to work out and transfer to the online version. It should be possible, but it seems to not work as easily anymore as in the past. Because in the past, I switched back and forth more easily. In all fairness, I've not tried too much. My game takes so long to load on my main playset that testing these kind of things is wholeheartedly pretty goddamn painful for me at the moment. So I tried once and it did not work, and then after I decided I need a break of trying around with it for a while because it's so infuriating. And here I actually started placing bollards already, and I was like, oh my god, I have placed so little bollards on stream lately. I cannot do this off stream. I owe you guys some bollard time. But now is the moment because it's been a while that we placed many bollards. We've been building so much industry. We are now in an area where we're gonna place an absolutely unholy amount of bollards. We will need so many here that you guys will be bored of bollards real soon. And I would say I'm sorry about it, but am I really? I don't think I am. But really, I'm very amazed because I did not look at these new assets much, and I've been starting my stream with fawning about these. Aren't these beautiful? Like, I really think this is such a cool asset, especially in the way we build it up here, because it has this nice opening in the back and these very cool back entrances right inside of it. And I think it offers itself up really well to what we've done here. You could obviously also fully close it up and make it a full circle, but then I think this is a lot more interesting than making it a full circle and allows us to get some great surface level parking in, because one of the things that stylistically we've been a bit wrong with so far is surface parking, because obviously US cities have an absurd amount of surface parking. I do think it's important to carry across that visually. I'm not willing to give surface parking as much space as it has in the real world because I think it's too much space telling too little story. But we're trying to replicate it, I guess, in a very shrunken way of the reality, because we do want it to look like there is an absurd amount of ground parking, especially a bit further outside. But yeah, really, really without issues. And while fawning about assets, really, we done a lot of cool morphs here. This one also really cool. I spliced these pretty harshly to reduce the size of them a lot. You guys can see they're overlapping pretty heavily everywhere. But with this splice, I'm also super happy. I think this is a gorgeous building. Also really fits the vibe of our city. And I've been wholeheartedly. I think Riza, you remember how this part of Los Vagos looked before, right? Because again, ignore everything south of this street, because that is definitely not nailed in stone yet. But everything on top of this street, I've been fighting with this area, and I've been revisiting a lot of that and moving it back and forth and deleting and replacing. And I've done that for a very, very long time without finding layouts that fully and wholeheartedly made me happy. Now we've managed, because this I'm also really looking forward. I think this is gonna get great. We have this lowered plaza here. I think some of these are really cool, and I really wanted to bring some of them into our city. And I think the combination here is great. This is also a new asset, and I love it. It's a really small and compact bus terminal, and we need some more bus terminals in our city, and especially in areas that have a bit more modern development, like this, that are a bit further outside. I do think it fits to also have a more modern approach in these kind of things, but yeah, I'm loving it. I think this area will really come together well once we work it out. Though for us to work it out is going to take a long time. Again, we've been jumping around a lot with many projects back in this area of the map that we should also finish. The reason I'm a bit locked in on this side of the map is that I hate how unfinished Los Vagos looks from this side. And I really want to get this area here, not to 100%, but at least to a way where they look more finish from further away. So I think for now we're at least mostly locked in on this area to progress here a bit. And let me catch up on chat real quick. Sorry, I've been yapping so much. Really? Even on reload, Riza? I've not heard of that ever. Like, I wholeheartedly have not heard of that happen ever. So very curious, but yeah, no, for me, not an issue at all. Worked very flawlessly. Like the only issue I had with decals ever in recent times has been transferring the Gaga surfaces to the online version of it, but I don't know. And it is consistent, like even if you restart your game, I'm sure you've done that and tried again, it keeps happening, right? I mean, I wholeheartedly, I cannot give you an answer that is not gonna tell you you're punishing yourself, Mother, because you're absolutely punishing yourself. Sure, I would also like to play with money, but then the game and its economy are just not great for that, right? Like, especially knowing that you would most likely want to build a somewhat smaller city as well. I think making money in this game is for absolute idiots, and it means you just click down a few big skyscrapers. Because to make money, all you need is some population, right? And I think if you wanna have a small city and naturally progress, you are not doing yourself a favor playing with money. Not because I don't think playing with money could be cool. In fact, I wish I would be able to play with money as well. But for me personally, I can tell you as much. I think the game is not in a state where playing with money is enjoyable. So I adapted to reality, right? Not because I would not like to play with money, but because playing with money in this game is not very fun. And I play video games to enjoy myself, and I don't think that is possible for the way I play the game. I don't think you're having an enjoyable experience playing with money, so I think you're really shooting yourself in the foot, having the expectation to play with money and building a small rural city that is enjoyable. Yeah, easy mode is too easy. I play in normal mode and it's too easy. Like I literally proven this point multiple times on stream, right? Because yes, I currently don't make money. It's not bad. I could very easily fix this. And the way to fix my entire economy is the following, and we will make money very easily. And I don't think this is interesting. If I want to make money, I do this. I take this building, I click it down, I gain like 10,000 population, and my city will be doing great, and I make great money, right? Has this been very challenging? Did I need to be bright or strategic or anything? No, I just need more population. And I think for me, that is City Skylines economy in a nutshell. If you have population, you will make money in this game. And if you don't, you will not make money in this game. And do I find that to be a very interesting and engaging mechanic that reels me in to want to deal with economy in this game? Maybe not. Maybe it does for you, and if so, I'm very happy for you. But for me, really, the money in this game is so flawed that I would rather just ignore it than having to deal with it at all. I mean, I actually think I love not playing sandbox games. I really love scenarios. I really love strategy games. But then the truth is, Cities is not a strategy game, even though the marketing really likes to pretend it is. But yeah, I would say it's just not a strategy game. And welcome in, Grey Noise. I hope you had a nice Christmas. And how are you liking the game right now? Because I've been saying so at the start of this stream. I'm loving the game right now, even though I just said it's a horrible strategy game and the economy is bad and you should ignore all of that. I think if you ignore all of that, then goddamn is Cities fun at the moment. At least to me. I'm sure there is people that would disagree with this take, but to me, Cities is really fun at the moment. And yeah, sorry, I overread that. Yeah, that skyscraper was one of the new pack, which I do think they're beautiful. I don't think I'll make any use of that skyscraper pack in Los Vagos. But then, as with everything, I'm glad about any variation we're getting, even if it's not something I would personally use in my city, then maybe I would like to use it in a future city. And even if not, then I'd like to see it in other people's build, because the assets itself are really pretty. And glad you had a nice holidays, Graham. I would be so scared of starting a new city. To be honest, I was fairly sure I will have to start a new city. Oopsala. We want this line tool instead. I was very sure I will have to start a new city when the editor came out, because I could not imagine that the editor would go as smoothly as it did for me. But then, yeah, Los Vagos survived, and now where Los Vagos survived, I'm really excited to keep playing, because wholeheartedly, I just did not think this city would have been alive after the editor. And that it survived it, and we now have all of those new possibilities is really, really nice to me. Yeah, I know, but then also, Reza, you have to understand when my city is also not a great benchmark, right? So if we look at Los Vagos, and if we look at actual buildings and not towers or something alike, I think these might be the highest buildings we have in the entirety of Los Vagos, which these are very low, right? And this is pretty much the highest something we have in Los Vagos, right? If we look over this city, there is no skyline, right? We have no single building that towers over the city. So for me, it's a bit difficult to get even smaller ones in, but yeah, really, really beautiful. And look who it is.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm!
Welcome in, Andy. Nice to see you. I guess the trucking gang is done with trucking for today. But I hope you had fun trucking with the others, and thanks for the raid, mate. How are you cutie doing today, and how were your holidays? I mean, I don't watch too much when you guys trucking, I have to admit, because I personally am not a trucking fan, but every once in a while I tune in and enjoy it for road inspiration for cities, because I do think the roads are incredibly beautiful in Truck Sim, so there is a lot for me to copy and learn from that. And it's been a long time, Andy, but we're placing bollards. And Andy, you should love this strip mall we're building here, because you know that I'm not too big on real places or real references. There is a lot of Canadian brands in here, even though we're supposedly uh, US built. I guess we're not too close for it. Look at this. We even have a Royal Bank of Canada in here where you can stash your money. Because there is one really, really nice Canadian brand set for cities that wholeheartedly I love this pack. So we've been getting quite a few Canadian brands in here as well. I also had a nice Christmas and holidays. I'm not the biggest fan of Christmas in general. I love my family and the best to all of them. But also I have a very big family and generally I do find Christmas a bit stressful because it's many of my friends that come from outside the city to be home over the holidays and such. So is a bit it's a bit too social for me as a time frame, but still it was nice and I enjoyed it. But I'm also fine with not having to meet 100 people every day for a while anymore. So yeah, I'm very glad. Yeah, Andy, I'm not sure if you've seen this. One thing that wholeheartedly I've been having an absolute blast with is these. We finally added some proper signage to our highways, and it's something very small, but I do think it actually carries pretty heavily. Like I'm a big fan of these. It's just a few signs, right? But then they make a big difference, especially here entering the city. I think it really changes the vibe to have these signage here. And we could even manage to sneak in some honorable mentions for partner cities we very much like. In fact, I will ask you guys for more city suggestions in the future with one condition: it has to be cities that are kinda long living. I don't want cities on here that survive for 2 weeks and then they're gone. So needs to be something that carries a bit through time. But then, yeah, if it carries a bit through time, I would love to put some more signage to outside connections. I mean, it's very close. There is right everywhere modules. They are very close. I did not have to adjust too much. I had to adjust a few things because, yeah,
Bye,
we're
have a great
left-hand
time.
traffic, which is a bit awkward, I guess, for this signage. And I find them a bit too full, so I adjusted them slightly, but great templates, really. Not much work to touch up on. And thanks for tuning in, Maza. Have a nice evening, and thanks for tuning in, mate. I hope I get it. Cities sometimes needs a break, but then I also hope you get the Yibers for cities soon again, so we can see you stream something outside of Anno sometimes. I'm curious, Andy, for you as somebody who's been staying very true and loyal with Cities 1, has the introduction of the asset editor for Cities 2 made you reconsider maybe giving the second try a go as well? Or is it still locked in for Cities 1? Let me catch up on chat real quick. Andy, you wanna know what? Every side of me is soft. It comes with being a fatty and is beautiful. Because even if you don't have a soft side, suddenly you do. Yeah, I know. I do think, and I get it. I do think once you start to change saves regularly, Riza, I think you're in big danger territory. Because especially at the start, it's so easy to be like, oh, I can do better than this. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna start something new. And I think if you once get stuck in that circle of re-rolling hell, it's kind of difficult to get out of it because it's so tempting to jump in and do different ones like all the time. For me, all of that always worked. I had no issues. Like literally any of the old things we had in Los Vagos still worked. I had to adjust nothing. So for me, yes, all of the J's vehicles work, all of the vans work, all of the nice new custom vehicles work. I have no good word for any of what Riza is doing till he makes cactus for me. If Riza makes a cactus for me, then we can talk about liking Riza's assets. But till that happens, I think horrible mod author, everything this guy has made should immediately be unsubbed and deleted from your build. Obviously, I'm not totally serious with this, but please give me cactus. I'm also very curious still, what is your guys' favorite assets? Because I wonder all the time. There is so much new good stuff, I can never really decide what I like the most. Why were they not working? That's so curious. For me, they were always working. Maybe Riza, one of the things that could actually be your issue. For example, if they weren't working in your European build, I assume you had that built on EU theme, right? I believe the entire pack of Dome is NA themed. So I think if you use it in an EU theme, they will not work. But that's not them being broken, it's just them being made for the European one. I'm not entirely sure if that is true, but I do believe that is the reasoning. And welcome in, Rookie. Nice to see you. Rookie has been very helpful because I've been trying, I'm sure some of you guys have been seeing, but I've been trying to curate a collection because I think out of all of the new assets we get, while there's a lot of great things, there's also a few things that are not as great. Let's phrase it carefully. I'm sure a lot of those things will see updates and will get better and better in future. But for now, I've been testing a lot of things and trying to curate some kind of collection that is safe to fall back on. And Rookie has been suggesting a lot of things and giving me notice about issues he had with stuff, which very appreciated, man. Makes it easier for me to keep that list somewhat proper. So thank you. Oh, that is absolutely exactly where I wanted to place those cards, guys. Is this not proper card placement? I mean, from my knowledge, people in the US are not known to remove their cards appropriately. So I guess in the US this could be a thing for people that don't like to place their cards correctly. but maybe we can do a little better job than what we did there. Obviously, since it's the US, we need some people who've been too lazy to properly return their card and just push it in there. And while super realistic, maybe we want to remove that one. Yeah, I've been trying to, like, I wholeheartedly been trying to bring that into my strip malls. It's not that great everywhere yet. I think the best example is, where is it even? I've been trying to actually, why is there rocks in the street? This is unacceptable. But I've been trying to leave cards in different places. Like, for example, I think a place where people would definitely leave their cards everywhere is a Target. And I've been trying to have the parking lot of Target full of randomly placed cards that people didn't return because, yes, I guess that is very US American. I've said this many times on stream. In Germany, this would simply not be possible, or yes, it would also be, but here you, I shouldn't say pay a deposit because it's literally just a coin slot, but you have to put a deposit in your card to be able to take a card. So people will return their card because they want their money back, right? It's just a very small sum. It's generally something like a euro or 50 cents or 2 euros or something. But that already is enough, right? For you to want to bring your card back. So I'm sure otherwise it's not like people in Germany are not lazy and all of them are like, oh my god, I love bringing my card back. I'm sure that would be an issue here as well, but it can't really be an issue just because we have that deposit, right? Yeah, I very much agree with you, Riza. I've always been saying it, and I know that there is multiple people in the community that would very much disagree with me on this take, but I personally think European assets are just not yet there in this game. I don't think you can build most European builds appropriate. Yes, you can build very romanticized, stereotypical German small villages, or you can build some other things that, yes, you can pull off, but a more realistic, proper European city, I just don't see it. We don't have the variety for that. I'm not sure if we have for the US. Maybe it's just me knowing less about the US and being more ignorant. So I feel like stuff matches better, but it doesn't actually match better. That might very well be the case. I'm not sure, but for my own feeling, it definitely feels like US cities are a lot better suited asset wise than EU cities. Yes, I mean, I was thinking the same while I said that story, because you're 100% correct, Rookie, that material wise, yes, that euro absolutely makes no sense because the value of the shopping cart is way higher than that really. But I don't think people take the cart home to dismantle it and sell the materials of them generally. People are just lazy. They just don't want to walk the last 50 meters to return it. And I think, yeah, for that, it absolutely does work, right? You quite literally just make people have to walk those 50 meters for the euro they want back. And that's enough motivation for most people to do it, I would argue. And here, because we have a bank, I guess it would actually make sense to put, we can even put multiple outdoor ATMs here. Because it's a bank where I guess it makes sense that you can also pool cash on the outside. And I mean, with churches as well, Riza, I do think we have pretty good churches from Fragen, but I do think some of them are very clearly styled to certain regions. So while I think most of his church are absolutely stunning and beautiful, I also don't think they are a great fit for Los Vagos in general. So I very much see where you're coming from. I feel fairly similar in that regard, really. What kind of business is Bell? For the, I guess now, just while I'm asking it, or one Canadian viewer that could give an answer to this just left. So maybe I should wait till Andy is back. But what kind of business is Bell? I really wish we would get more of these random things here as well. I think these shopping racks are incredibly good at detailing out these storefronts from the outside a little. But yeah, we have so little different variations of them that it does get pretty repetitive fairly quickly. Which in general, I've been surprised by the asset editor in that regard so far, because we've been seeing many different buildings and such, but I personally don't even miss buildings so much. I mainly miss more props. Like basic simple stuff. I don't know, a proper tire mesh. Now we can import stuff like that, or I don't know, different kind of outdoor displays, even something like just a few bottles, just normal small props to detail with. And there's been some, but surprisingly little, I would say, in that regard. You must have had a lot more props to detail with in CS1 in the editor, no? For me, it's a bit surprising because looking at the editor, it's way easier making static props than anything else. So I would have figured that there is quite a lot more people to just pump out a few static props, but then I guess doesn't seem like it. It's the very white one, right? I think I know which one you're talking about. It's one of the uploaded ones to PDX, like an actual asset, right? Or are you talking about the Fragen one? That church is beautiful. I really wish that mod author would be in the modding Discord or somewhere, because that is a really, really, really nice asset. The problem with it is that it's brighter than the sun. Like, I am very white, but I am nowhere near as white as that church is. That church is brighter than the sun, and it's unrecolorable. Only issue with that asset. The mesh itself is beautiful. The building is really pretty. Like all of it is 10 out of 10 and great, but it's too bright. Is till that is fixed, I'm not interested in that church. If they fix that, that church will be my favorite church we have in the game right now, because it is beautiful, really. But again, with the issue it has right now, I'm not loving it. And I can see from further away that I don't like the bullards we have here. While it is realistic to go this deep, because that's where the road actually is with our overlay, I think it actually is more correct to move this up a bit. That looks more correct. Even though it is less correct, but then who cares about what is correct? We just care about it looking cute. These are a bit too close. I think we'll just move them like. Hold on. We will go in and remove this. Yeah, Very sad. I mean, there is a single church, and we will build with that. My issue is just I have too many projects as one, so we're jumping back and forth, building all kind of weird things. But there is a very pretty church by the Fragan churches that does totally work in our NA build. In fact, we already placed a few things here we want to work with, and it's that church. It's the Riza Cross thingy, because I want to build a nice plaza outside here in the front. And then it's these, because I do think these really fit the vibe of it. And maybe we can turn it into. How's that called in English? Why can I not figure the name for it? The place where monks are living? Rookie, help me. What is a cloister in English? But yes, this church I definitely want to build out. I want to build a. We're gonna move this slightly, and then we're gonna build a road up here, and build a nice custom cemetery here, and build out a nice church slash cloister complex. There is no way it's called Salzburg. I monastery. Yes, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. But yes, here I would like to build a complex that is like a church, then a monastery, and a bit of a plaza with a custom cemetery. And then back here, this is a build we're gonna visit in future. This is gonna be my very small and humble residence that I don't think anybody can critique me for. In fact, I was wondering, because it's very important for me to get to office real quick, if we should build all of these roads in asphalt to connect my residence and the palace here, but then that seems a bit wasteful money-wise. And also what is even worse than being wasteful, that also means my citizens would profit off of that asphalt road. So I think the better select or better solution is that we have a heli landing pad here, and then maybe we build a second heli landing pad somewhere here across the palace, so I can just fly from it to work really quickly. Also, Sunny, now you're here, I need to show you something. I've shown this a few times today, but I'm wholeheartedly proud of it, and there is maybe a little Sunny shout out in this. What do you think of my signups? And what do you think of the places to go to? Because yes, Sandy Isle and Pine Grove. With Pine Grove, there is a bit of a back reason for why we put Pine Grove, and I guess Pine Grove should have two O's, right? I will have to check how Moose is writing Pine Grove, but I guess it should have two O's. But anyways, now we have Pine Grove on here. We can tell Moose that he can't re-roll his build, because it needs to be an existent build we locate to, and if he re-rolls build, then we need to replace Pine Grove on there. So maybe putting Moose on this sign makes him stick to a build for a bit longer. These signs are really great. Like I shouldn't get any credit for this, because I just adjusted really well-made right everywhere module slightly. These are the ones by Jack Slinger, or however he's called, the guy who also makes all of the great electricity networks. It is tagged as broken in Skype, and I've seen many people that have issues with it. I've also seen many people in the comments of this saying it's not broken. So I'm a bit confused, because for me it works absolutely flawless, no issues, never cause any issues, and works great. But then I struggle a bit recommending this, cause it seems to be causing issues for some people. I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure why these work for some people and don't for others, but yeah, the truth is, sadly, for some people, those seem to cause issues, else they are beautiful and they're really quick to add, right? Like even here, for example, we don't have this connected yet. That's why I didn't place the
I
signs yet,
wish we
but
had a
we
cactus.
will in future. Which lightning supports scaffolding?
I wish we had a
I
cactus.
also wish we had a cactus cuties. Also, congrats on the 7 day streak. That seems like a terrible decision to waste as much time watching my streams. I've done nothing of this. This is all an asset. That's what I've been trying to tell you. That's why I don't deserve any credits for this. We're gonna build one here together just so we can show it to Sunny. This is the entire thing here. You've these different signs, and you've these different things to put over the road, right? In our case here, it's just a single exit. So for a single line, I like this one the most, is the most rural. And then you just go ahead. Placing this is a bit finicky, but you just throw it in there. I guess I should wait out the ad real quick before we show this. Yeah, we're gonna wait out the ad real quick and then I'm gonna show how to do this real quick, because really it's very easy. The templates are built incredibly well. If they would not seem to cause some issues for people according to Skype, I would recommend them because I do think they're amazing. Only reason I'm not recommending them again is cause they seem to be causing issues for some people, and I don't want to recommend anything that could cause issues. It does not cause issues for me, but yeah, take it with a grain of salt. At least if you sub to it, I guess treat them carefully because they might break something. I'm a bit lost on where the issue could be with those, because again, the templates are really well made and on my machine work flawlessly. And even if you look at the comments of that mod, it's many people in the comments saying it works flawlessly for them and they don't understand why it's marked as broken. So yeah, again, I don't understand why it is, but that's the only reason I'm not recommending it. But I guess you can try it out, and if it works for you, then great. If it doesn't work for you, then not great. But yeah, now the ad break is over, we can dive back into this. So what I've been saying, Sunny, is that there is two packs, right? One is these tubes where you have these different variations depending on width or lanes, what you would need, right? This is one pack. This pack is fairly big. People have been criticizing this a bit because it's 30 megabytes, which for something as simple as this is quite sizable. I don't care. I think they look absolutely beautiful, so I use them regardless of their file size. But just so I give complete information, I mention it. And then there is these, which is these different signs, right? It's 5 of them. They all look great. They are really easy to place. They all are in your highway menu. And then you just place any that you want, like we just did here. Placement of it seems okay as well. And then it's very easy. Yes, I agree. The green is too bright. It's also my criticism to this. I kinda think it's fixable, just decal over it a bit, right? Then, yes, it's generally still a bit too bright, but I think if you decal it up a bit, it works better. But I'm with you, Gaga. That would be my only critic to this entire thing, would be the strength of the green. But the Write Everywhere module is very well made, right? I'm sure all of you guys generally know how to use Write Everywhere. We press Control Shift W, we go here, import. Now comes the important one. We want to import from a mod.
My God!
Oh,
Okay, it's happening.
welcome in,
Everybody stay calm.
Canadian.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm.
Nice to see you, cutie. Hope you had a nice stream, and thank you for the raid, mate. These might even be interesting for Canadian as well, because these have support for Canadian signage as well. So I'm gonna go real quick back and explain this a bit better, so maybe Ken can profit as well if he's interested. But thanks for the sub. That's very cute of you. Thank you, mate. That will get invested into a new graphics card eventually. Oh, how come Unity Arrows? What did you do? How did you break your game? But see, Ken, what I'm showing the chat right now, and maybe you're interested in it as well, is how to use a few mods to make these beautiful signage, and they seem to have Canadian assets in them as well, so this should be fairly easily adjusted for Canadian builds as well. And you can make very cute signage with this. So this is what we're looking at, how to make it, and I'm trying to show Sunny how to do this. What we've done so far is we place this tube and we place this sign, right? And now we go into Write Everywhere with Shift Control W, click on the opponent, make sure that is the right one because the overlay here was wrong. Then we go here on the import, important here, click at from mods, and then you see this, the North American highway signs. Here we have two categories, and it's very easy to choose which one. Obviously, we have a gantry sign, so we want a gantry sign, and these are just the sizes. We have the small one, we have the medium one, and we have the big one. We chose a small one, so we want a small one, and then this is what happens. Literally, pretty much done already. At this point, we can change a few things. First is you could always change these places here and change the images. In our case, this is perfectly fine and we want to keep that. So we're going to keep that. The exit number is, I don't know, 8, because I like 8. The one thing that I find a little annoying is that sadly I have to always adjust the font manually because it does not seem to preload in the correct font right away. But if you change the font, you can change all of these. And here the arrow is even already in the correct direction. For many of the other ones, because we have left-hand traffic, I needed to adjust the arrows and all of that, but it's very straightforward to do here, right? For example, if you take this exit, you can get to Kene. So if you wanna visit somebody very nice, you take this exit here, exit number 8, out to the right, and then back here. If you follow this road, inside of this tunnel is obviously your target location. So this is how you use the signage, and just to show this a bit more appropriately, because there is something very powerful in here. If you would wanna adjust any of these, right? Then you can very easily do that. You can just change it to the left side or to the top side, or obviously this is not a wrong one, but there is a few very easy ways to adjust these things, right? Now we're just jumping a bit silly here, but some of these are really easy to exchange. Especially what is easy to exchange is the arrows, because he has arrows for all different directions that you can replace very easily. It gets a bit finicky. I myself had to play around a bit to understand where we are, what we want to do, but for me it worked absolutely flawless, and that entire template is really, really well made, and I think it's very easy to work with. So highly recommend this. And you can change through for all of the routes in the end. There is Canadian emblems as well. Now, I have to admit, the embarrassing part that I did not pay attention to is which one we were actually using. Okay, exit tab corner. I'm sure that was supposed to get called corner, but something went wrong there, I guess. But yes, as a quick show on how to build this, I very much agree with Gaga. The green is too bright. That should be a very easy fix, and the asset creator of these seems to be very active. So I'm sure that is something we can revisit in future, or he can revisit in future, and hopefully update for us. So yes, I do. It's not an updated one right now. You know what, Canadian? I will post my current mod list for you after this stream, because there is a few reasons why I've not published it yet. Because I use some of the Washi's assets still, and I don't think anybody should still use the Washi assets. So the reason I've not shared my mod list recently is because I always felt like, oh, I should remove those first. Truth is, my mod list is probably better than the mod list of most people, so it can get even better in future. I'm gonna share it for you already anyways. I will tag you and share it after the stream. Because yes, I can totally do that as well. Let me catch up on chat real quick. Yeah, it makes sense. Ken, like I myself have been sidetracking horribly lately, not really making progress on anything, because same problem. There is too many nice things I want to build at once. I keep ending up very sidetracked in other areas, so I get it. Very, very understandable. In fact, I did not plan on building this area we're building right here today at all. But then I looked at our city from afar and I was like, okay, actually, this is the areas that needs the most finishing touches. So that's where we dive back in. But yeah, for everybody who's not familiar with Canadian, go check out Canadian. Is one of my very, very favorite city streamers. It's always enjoyable in there, and it's always a funny place because Canadian is pretty good at the game, but usually pretends to be very incompetent at the game. Sometimes he actually is incompetent, but generally he just pretends to be. But it is very enjoyable regardless. So for people not familiar with Canadian, go check out Canadian. I swear these get placed twice. Did we not just see that? These sims confuse me a lot. I still feel like there is something wrong with them. This is a single guy. This looks like there is two there. The way he sat down. Yes, and look, there is two here. I don't understand. This is not an animation problem. There is actually two sims here. I'm like 90% convinced. I don't understand why this is happening, because sometimes it's two, sometimes it's one here. Is this the animation bug? I need to know from other people to verify if this is something that Sully might have to touch back up on, or if this is a problem with the animation, right? Because some of these trip me out. Some of these look very normal as well, like they're there only a single time, but then others do very weird things. Maybe it's actually the animation, and all of them do that. I'm a bit unsure about it. Well, I mean, Rookie, the good news on the washi things is that you can rebuild all of that, right? Like there is a lot of things that washi use that are just static ploppable. So if eventually you can just go through your build and replace all of them and rebuild, but yeah, it's annoying, especially for me. Like the worst ones are all of the washi's farms, because we use the washi farms a lot in this entire area out here. And to get all of the washi farms out is gonna be a lot of work that I'm not prepared for yet. We will do it eventually. I've gotten rid of quite a few of the washi things again, and I'm gonna try to get rid of all of them. But yes, that's the only reason I've not shared my mod playlist yet, but I'll do that for you anyways. And I mean, you're laughing, Gaga. Los Vagos indeed taking too many pills. I still don't understand what is going up in my city. I guess it fits because it's Los Vagos. But look at this. All of our production, perfectly fine. Yes, we have slight deficits on some of them. Explain this. This value is between 2 and 4 kilotons at all times. Our city is 20,000 inhabitants. These 20,000 inhabitants use between 2 and 4
Emotional damage.
kilotons of pharmaceuticals every single month, which, I mean, I'm glad that the game understands what we're doing in Los Vagos and where our role playing is heading towards. But then, why this is happening, I don't understand. Don't ask me. But yeah, I'm confused. And these themes confuse me so much because I've showed this earlier. Some of them look perfectly fine, right? This one, perfectly fine. The animation, no weird things happening. Same for this one. I also think they're duplicates, but I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. That when I play, sometimes he places duplicates and sometimes he doesn't. Because yes, I'm with you, Ken. I think this is a duplicate. And it does also kind of make sense because if you use those with Move It, I've showed this already earlier. I shouldn't do it too much because I don't want to crash my game. But yeah, don't use Move It on this. This is the result you're getting, right? Every time you move your table, you spawn a new sim, which looks interesting, I guess. Not exactly what I plan to do here. The issue is the only way for us to delete these sims is in radio control, right? So I cannot do that because if I target one of them, I will target all of them. So no, that's sadly not an option. I wish it would be because yes, then we could troubleshoot what the issue is here, but it's not an option for us. I think you can see it sometimes because we could see the reason why I immediately knew that one of them we have to adjust that passing. The car shouldn't go there. I know. But the reason I right away felt like there is multiple here is that you see it when they sit down. I think that's only one. We're gonna try a bit for science here. Because earlier we could see how here, did you guys see this? These is two people, these are both one. I believe. These animations should be flawless. I mean the glasses seem to always be a bit buggy. He's perfect though. Maybe that's also two. Let's look at his glasses again. His glasses are fine. They're not doing any weird things. These glasses, they're twice. I think he is sitting here twice. And he is definitely here twice as well. You could already see it when they were sitting down, right? Even though I clicked only a single time. I'm gonna try to demonstrate this again. Pay attention at when he sits down. Because you can see sometimes he sits down twice, and then you already know he's there multiple times. Did you see that? He sat down twice. He sat down twice again. I'm clicking a single time. Also sat down twice. Sat down a single times. This one is fine. Yeah, see, his glasses also are fine. No problem with the glasses at all. They look perfect. All of these are there twice. And all of these have that weird thing with the glasses. Because you see, this is not. I was wondering if this is a problem with the animation or if there are multiple times. But then here, the only guy that sat down only once looks the best and looks the smoothest. His glasses seem totally fine when he moves around. Meanwhile, all of these that clearly sat down twice, they also move twice. Yeah, we did that. I just wanted to try with the same, so it's the easiest visible. But look at this. He's here twice as well. He's here twice as well. I tried it, and it's not only in the tables, it also happens in the benches. Like if we go and find the benches, which category were they in? Here, I guess, for example. Again, we're doing science right now, because I want to understand, because I do think there is something wrong with these. I do think quite a lot of these get placed multiple times. So hard to see, but pay attention. Yeah, did you see that? These, I think, is only one per person, because they sat down normally. These we could see right away they sat down twice. This is 4 people in a bench. And you can also see that, because the animations are slightly delayed from each other, and you can always see how it's 2 people. These, meanwhile, where we could see only one person sitting down, they are fine. I am quite literally just gonna send Sully the VOD of this, because I guess this is the best testing I can do, unless anybody have an. What do you mean, watch them with dev menu, Gaga? Explain to me what you want me to test, and we can do so. Because I don't know what interesting thing I could try in dev menu to try out. What is that supposed to solve? Canadian? You mean you want me to place a, okay, we're gonna place a, again, all of this is just for science. We're placing a tree here. Now we go back to the benches. Oops, wrong category. Here we take the bench. Again, we're gonna have to delete a lot of things here in a moment, but for science. Pay attention when they sit down. I'm telling you, we're gonna see multiple people sitting down again. This is one person. This is fine. These seem okay. This is 2 people. You guys see this, right? This is not me tripping. I don't have seen Explorer, at least not in this playset. But I think it's very easy to see the problem. Like, you can literally, when I click it down, this is 2 people. They sat down twice. This is 2 people. This could be 1. I think this is 1. This was hard to see. Could be 1, could be, but you can see it right away. At some of them, at least, if the delay is big in between, it's so visible that he places this is 6 people in the bench. Again, 6 people in the bench. Very interesting. I'm gonna stop testing around with this nonsense for now. But this is something I guess we will have to tell Sully. There is another thing I have to annoy Sully with anyway, so just two things now. But yeah, there definitely is something wrong with these, where they are there multiple times, for sure. And this definitely is something that should get checked, because not that this is a super big problem, but that literally means you double the amount of animated scenes you're placing, so that is also not great for performance to have all of these there multiple times. That means we're gonna skip on detailing with the sitting sims for today at least, till we ask Sully about this. We're gonna go back and clean up all of these. But yeah, there definitely has to be done some looking into that. Because that does seem problematic and wrong. Again, we're gonna detail this corner up once we looked into that a bit more. Because the second thing I need to annoy Sully with, that I'm sure has been a bit painful to a few people, is that right everywhere rendering changed. I'm trying to. This is an example where I fix it already. The default rendering of right everywhere now is. Oh, actually, I need to flip one of them. I see. Curious. I'm gonna fix that off stream. But the default rendering of right everywhere changed, so now it's only one-sided, right? Which means that stuff like this happens, which didn't in the past. This one I still have to fix. From the back, you can't see it anymore, which is great for stuff that's built like this, where you can't see the back anywhere, because then it saves a lot of rendering and makes the entire thing a lot lighter for your computer. But it obviously breaks everything that is built like this, where you need to see the back face, and some of the Sully things are entirely broken due to it. It's very easy to fix, so not a big problem. We could just fix this for us, but Sully should fix this for everybody anyways, because it's gonna be very infuriating for everybody to do this. So I'm gonna ask Sully to update these to turn on the backface rendering for all of these. It's not something he could know. That's an adjustment that Right Everywhere did in the middle of existing, right? So not something he could do. It broke a lot of my things as well. These I fixed up already, but for example, my very favorite sign we ever built, I have to fix up entirely as well. Where is it? Oh, yeah, here. Do you guys see this beautiful sign we built here? This one, I mean, obviously. But yeah, since the backface rendering is off by default now, we will have to go back and adjust many of these. Broke our lightning and all of it as well. A bit annoying that a change like this comes in the middle of development, but then I get it. But yeah, means for us we have to revisit quite a lot of our Right Everywhere instances and fix them up. And I guess same goes for people like Sully that uploaded Right Everywhere things. He will have to go back and fix those. And welcome back, Riza. Riza, you have to answer me one thing. I've been wondering this a lot actually. How come you decided not to make the Chirpy statue public? Because I think the Chirpy statue is your most versatile statue because it's the smallest. And I think it being the smallest means that you can use it in the most different places. And I think it's one of your better things. Yep, I think it's turned out great. Why hide it? Why not actually list it in your profile? That is a really cute statue that worked out great. That should be public, in my opinion. Obviously, it's your stuff. You do whatever you find correct. But I wholeheartedly think that one turned out great. Because your cross one, I also think the cross one is really pretty, but the cross one is very sizable already. So I think that the cross one, which I definitely want to use back here later when we build out this area, think is great, but for a filler, for a very small plazas or something, it's already too sizable. So I think the Chirpies one really hits a nice middle ground there because it's detailed but kinda small enough to really work well as filler. So yes, maybe go ask Gaius, and if he's fine with you publishing it, then I think you definitely should consider that. Yeah, see, I have the same issue with your Plaza decals. Out of all of the decals you ever made, I think your Plaza ones are by far the nicest. I think they are very unique in an area of the game that we're really lacking. So I think they're great, but yes, they are very big. I struggle fitting those anywhere because they are gigantic. So yeah, I guess for you, if you wanna use them together with your decals, then yeah, I guess you need big statues for your big decals. But for me, it's actually been always been a problem with your plaza decals because I do think they're very pretty, but my plazas are generally a tad too small to actually have enough space to get your plaza decals in. I'm sure in one of our future bigger cities we'll manage so, but in Los Vagos, I don't really see how or where I could manage, right? Because this would be a great size to put one of your decals, but then let's have a look. Your decals should literally be in this category as well, I believe. There they are. Yes. Now see how big I would like my plaza to be, and now have a look at how big your plaza would actually be. Is a bit too big for my build. Just the middle of this, quite literally, just a small center part of this would be big enough for my plazas. But yeah, these are all absolutely massive. Even the small version, I mean, honestly, huh, I think we're gonna keep this. I'm gonna have to play around with that. I think we're actually gonna keep this. Yeah, absolutely no hurries on that result. Like for me, I rather wait a few months more, but then get really nice ones than you having to rush. Like very maybe I don't have that to be honest. But yeah, no, I think this one actually is a really nice fit. I do think we're just gonna keep this one. But yeah, looking forward to the cactus, but again, like I'm kidding. Like never any rush. I'd rather wait a bit longer and get a cactus I actually really like over getting a cactus that makes me happy for having a cactus, but I don't really like that much either. I mean, I guess cactus also is a pretty difficult, complicated prop to start out with, so I get it is a mean starting point for sure. Yeah, no, wholeheartedly. It's like if I could transform it, yes, I would make it a very little bit smaller still. But no, this does perfectly work and actually fits very nice. I love that the star quite literally fits the benches we placed perfectly spot on, like made for each other, really. Sometimes the order in my decals changes if I rebuild my database, and goddamn, I hate it. Every time that happens, I have to look for everything 3 times as long as before. And I did not think we were gonna do this today, but I do think we're actually gonna go ahead and at least decal up this area here appropriately. We cannot really finish the detailing completely because I would like to work with the Sully sims here a lot. But with what we found earlier, I think we shouldn't use them super much yet till we ask about why what is happening. But yeah, we can put all of the decal work down already. So at least one of these areas looks a bit more appropriate and fitting to what we want to do here already. Yeah, see, these changed in order and I hate it. This one is the first one. We're gonna go ahead and fix up the road here slightly as well to hide the seams, and then we're gonna use this to run on to the stuff a little, especially in areas like this. The parking base and such, we do want more grid. This is just our very first layer. We're gonna put some proper grid down in a moment as well, but this is just to fade it a bit and make the corners less harsh. With a nice side effect of also fixing up our streets a bit, but we'll do that with another decal in a moment anyways. Yeah, we should actually, I'm gonna go ahead with the other one as well. Okay, that's not a new one. This is a decal we use for blending these streets pretty much everywhere. It looks a bit too extreme like this, but now if we combine these two and blend this a little, I do think this really makes the transitions incredibly smooth and makes it a lot less problematic for us to switch the planes as well. But yeah, look at how much better that looks than it did a moment ago. And in the next ad break, I will have to leave you cuties for a moment. I do really have to go to the toilet. I don't want to make you guys wait more than necessary, so we're gonna wait for the next ad break, but I hope that's not too long ahead. I mean, sure. But you see, whenever, Riza, you will enjoy this story. Whenever I think about diapers, I think about the same thing. There is a very popular story in the US, or a very popular family in the US, I should say. And this family is in the news pretty much every year. And that family goes by the very charming name of the diaper family. To give a bit more background why somebody could be the diaper family, hold on, this gonna get slightly disturbing. You know of the Times Square in New York, right? And you know that every year, in fact, is probably something that is going to happen this year again. People love to flock to the Times Square to look at the weird giant glass ball get lowered to the ground. Least spectacular New Year celebration ever, but I guess it's New York, so people love it. Obviously, a lot of people go to the Times Square, and it's gonna be very difficult to have a position where you can see anything. So people go there hours or sometimes even a single day before the New Year celebration starts. They go to the Times Square and they get their spot in the first row so they can see better than everybody else can. Now, the issue is if you leave your spot you've been waiting so long for, you will lose your spot as well, right? So, what these people do to be able to hold their spot for that long, that they all put on diapers and then they spend 24 hours in front of Times Square while filling up their diapers and blocking their spot, which, curious, to everybody their own life choices. That's not how I would imagine my perfect New Year celebration to be. I'm not gonna judge anybody if that is how they feel like celebrating their New Year's. All power to them. That sounds enjoyable, but uh, questionable. But yeah, really legendary. My brother lived in New York for a few years, and I can tell you, me and my brother, we had a lot of fun looking at stories about the diaper family. I'm sure that's something Gaga would do. I very much agree with you, Riza. In fact, probably that is Gaga. Maybe he's a member of the diaper family and he likes to celebrate in the Times Square. That would all make a lot of sense, to be honest. But yes, disturbing. When I heard about it first, I imagined it to be a joke or a parody, but with a lot of things in the US, they seem like they're parody, but then you look a bit closer and shockingly, it turns out they aren't. I might have gone a bit overboard with how dirty we made this, but then it's Los Vagos, so I think we can live with it. I think we're gonna leave it the way it is. I mean, I mean, Riza, see, while both of us thought Gaga has to do with some very weird things, the truth is even worse than what we could imagine. And I can't wait for more vehicles. Wholeheartedly, I think my favorite things from the asset editor to just enhance my build with so far have been the vehicles, because there is nothing I have to do. I quite literally just add the vehicle to my build, and suddenly my build is more beautiful. This one, for example, I love this. This is exactly the kind of vehicle I imagine to be in Los Vagos. A very like normal but kind of retro US vehicle. So big fan. Same goes for the kidnapper van. I also think the kidnapper van is beautiful. There is a few of the very modern ones that I'm not so sure about. I added some of them for now, just because we have so little variety. But then something like the Bugatti and such, I would most likely remove in future. Though I actually been wondering, maybe some of you guys know, I would love a way to use some of these vehicles only as prop, but to not have it spawn. Because, for example, the Bugatti, I think, is a really cool vehicle to place in front of some super luxurious big houses and have it there as a prop. But it's not a vehicle I really want to see in my streets, right? Even in a giant city like London with lots of rich people everywhere, you barely will see anybody drive around with their Bugatti, right? It's a vehicle that is built to be kept in your garage and maybe driven once a year on a nice Sunday. And I don't think we have a way for doing that. But I would love if we'd had a way for that, because this seems like something I would love to be doing if it would be possible. Again, I don't think it is, so probably dream over. But if it would be possible, then that would be amazing. In general, I've been wondering, because not sure if that is possible, but Vehicle Controller got an update and is very nice, and it added some of the other things. For example, the vehicle stiffness mod is now included in Vehicle Controller. I'm wondering if it will ever be possible to add custom vehicles in this list. If so, god damn it, would that be exciting? Because I would love to be able to add more different custom vehicles, but only if I have a bit more control over the degree to which they spawn. And I think currently we don't, and I'm not sure if that will be possible in future, but I really hope so, because if it's not, then I think you're a lot more limited in which vehicles you can use and can't use. Gaga showing his true colors today. This has been very educational. I now know to never mess with Gaga. That seems like an unpleasant thing to have to deal with. Okay, and a lot of the rest is just sim and prop work. I think we're probably gonna be lazy and keep this for now. The one thing I've tried around with here a bit is I think the roof is too plain. Not only do I want to decal up the roof a bit as well, but in general, I also think compared to most of these buildings, we do need some more roof props, and we need boring roof props. Some very simple AC stuff like this, I guess. Is this smaller? Yeah, these are a bit smaller because these are the industrial ones, and I found them a bit too boxy and big. But these are a bit better. So we're gonna go ahead and prop a few of these. I don't want to do the world. I just want the roof to look a bit less plain and empty. Maybe we can even do a little piping, but again, I don't plan on doing very much here. I just want this to not be entirely blank. But this one is very big, but I guess on top of a meat market, not even unfitting. So sure, why not? That already does help. I do think the only last thing, and I'm wondering if we can just trick with that and use one of my own assets, is some piping. And if we go in here, we should have different booty pipes. And I think some of these we can probably just move in there and use here, for example. That works perfectly.
I am moving in, boy.
Laying down all of these pipes is very tedious if you want to put them one by one. That's why I built these in the past and combined a few of them. So we can do what we're doing here and just click down some of these pre-made variations of them down to make the roof a bit more boring, or a bit less boring, sorry. Okay, where are you moving in, Gaga? Are you still in the strip mall? Because I know who would want to buy the strip mall if you don't. Fashion is such a strip mall fan that if you don't buy this, I guarantee you fashion will buy this in future. I don't think in this, yeah, we do have pharmacy. Hold on. I'll show you the different pharmacies we have. I just want to move this. And now, obviously, we have to, I guess, adjust these. If we just move that one in here and then just place the other one next to it, that should look nice. Okay, and now I'm gonna show you the pharmacies in the city we have. I think some of them are owned by 40 already, so I'm not sure which of these I can give you, but the most or the oldest pharmacy I can think about in our build, I believe, is here. But this is owned by Fashion, sadly. See, this is 40 Strip. This would be a pharmacy you'd be interested in otherwise, I'm sure. And maybe we have some here. No, this is all not pharmacy. We do have more pharmacy stuff up here in our mall, because Walgreens. Well, I guess I'm not sure if you could call Walgreens a pharmacy. I guess it's a drugstore. Now we need somebody from the US in chat to educate me if Walgreens counts as a pharmacy. I would say yes, maybe not in reality. I was actually curious. I think in Germany something like Walgreens would count as pharmacy. I'm not sure. Maybe in the US it's considered a drugstore. And we have another pharmacy slash drugstore here. We have a CVS back here. So, all your choice, but I guess the only real proper pharmacy is the one by 40. We should have another one of those somewhere in the city, but then the truth is, I cannot recall where. I will keep my eyes open, because I'm fairly sure we have another smoke on the water somewhere, but otherwise not here somewhere. Yeah, a lot of these areas are areas that I want to revisit again, especially now we have a few more tools. There's quite a bit of this area that I want to revisit. But yeah, I think you have to be fine with a drugstore for now, Gaga, because none of these is an actual pharmacy. So are you fine with the Walgreens, or do you want me to build you a proper pharmacy? Because I can also just build you a proper pharmacy in future. This, for example, we could turn into a pharmacy. Or even better, this small one here. Gaga, this literally says pharmacy. I'm gonna turn this into another pharmacy for you, if you're fine with that. We can literally go in and give this a second location. Because then this is the best I can offer, I think. And this is entire area we started detailing, but then kinda abandoned. So it's good if we start revisiting this area anyways. So you're pushing me to do something really good. even brand is twice on both sides. Obviously, we're gonna yeet out the signage, the vanilla signage in a moment. The back, we don't really need it. Yeah, I will revisit this entire area. I don't think I'm gonna wanna jump to this now. But we will definitely go and revisit this entire area. In fact, we started building out this weird scene here in the back, where we have these skaters doing nonsense. But we have to fix this scene up a bit because we've been changing things here. So now the levels are not optimal anymore. But yeah, this is a nice area I want to work on anyways. So for now, we're gonna just give you this building and yeet out the weird vanilla branding, and it's gonna be yours in future. I guess you're looking for a way to sell the herbs you're harvesting behind Elgendo's headquarters. I see exactly what's happening here. I'm not sure I can allow it. Or this is just the awnings. What color awnings? Orange actually is, we kind of want to hit the logo color even more vibrant yellowish, something like this. And the roof can stay the way it is, but that looks a lot better already. I mean, you and Elgando are both very scary for the city, because look, Gaga, I started detailing out the Elgando surface factory a bit as well. Look at this entrance. Elgando building his surface factory more secure than the prison we will get in the city will be. So I'm already slightly worried about what Elgando is planning to do inside of this factory, but what do I know? But yeah, look at the entrance he's building here. And we have to try around a bit still, because I have not figured yet. I already asked Elgando if he can make me a few decals of surfaces of his. Because I always wanted an Elgando surface factory. I need to figure out how we can display the surface properly. I need to play around with different props a little and see how we can fix that up the most appropriately to work. But then, yeah, eventually we'll turn this entire complex into Elgando Surface Factory. Or I guess Elgando Tiling and Pavements. We need a better name for it. And since I really have to hit the toilet for a while, and I see that there is an ad break coming in 2 minutes, and I've not had a break yet, I think I'm gonna look for a nice police vehicle or park maintenance vehicle and send you guys on a little road trip while I hit the toilet and grab something to drink real quick. Come on, give me a sheriff. The sheriff are always the best vehicles for this. Or maintenance vehicles, either of them. Sir, give me an officer or a maintenance vehicle right now. I have like 2 minutes and then I need one so I can go to the toilet. Wait, we can cheat. We can go here and open the overlay and go in the police tab, and then we should see police officers. There is one all the way back here. That's perfect. Even further back there, but that's not fully detailed. So this is the one we want. We just have to let him drive out of that area so we can choose him properly, but we can already go in here and adjust the sim speed, because in the first person drives, one is always too fast. So I always put the sim speed to half before we do the first person rides. Now we can also click him. And with that, I'm gonna send you guys on a quick road trip. I should be back in like 3 or 4 minutes. I'm just gonna grab something to drink and head to the toilet real quick. Be right back, cuties.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm!
Aye, welcome in, Trashy and cuties. Sorry, unfortunate timing. Right when you raid, I take the very first break of today. So I did not manage to react to it any closer, I will check Discord. You guys will get a bit of lag because my game is gonna do horrible while I'm tabbed out. That looks beautiful. If any of you guys are not familiar with Trashcan, and welcome in, Cutie, I hope you had a nice modeling stream today. Trashy is a great cities and variety streamer that I've been watching for multiple months now and very much enjoy his streams, especially some of his Blender streams. And since months, I've been annoying Trashy about having to make assets for Cities Skylines once we get the asset editor. And for months, Trashy has been telling me, leave me alone or give me money, bitch, which honestly, fair response, I get it. But since I'm broke and I cannot give money and Trashy is a cutie anyways, Trashy seems to be kinda hooked on making stuff for the asset editor now, and the screenshot he sent me that you should put in my Discord as well, Trashy, so people outside of our DMs can also see that absolute beauty. Trashy has been working on modeling a Fallout building for a while now, and there is a statue in front of it that looked beautiful and already was looking really beautiful, and he just sent it to me and they were looking stunning. You wanna know what, Trashy? I literally have the perfect spot for it, because see what I built a while ago. We built this. We built the Meteor Museum in Los Vagos. If this is not a perfect spot for your statue, I don't know what is. We need to build a bit more space out here so we can give it a nicer plaza or something in front. But that statue with the rocket around it and the planets is gonna be so goddamn hot in front of our Meteor Museum. We might also use it in front of your building where it actually does belong, but here is where I really want to see it. And I guess is an ad break, so you can't hear. Maybe you can hear. I'm never sure if Siribot is lying to me or if it isn't. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But yes, I love that statue. I will put it in many different spots, but my immediate position I want to put it into is our Meteor Museum, because what an absolute perfect fit for it. So big fan, really. And if anybody wants to see what me and Trashy are talking about, apparently now it is in my Discord as well, which if you want to join my Discord, you can find it either in my about page or if you type !Discord in chat. Is a fun, cute little place, but yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it, Trashy. Like, you are very, very good at Blender, and really, to finally get you making stuff for cities gets me very, very excited. And for everybody who's interested in general city streams, but especially in the amazing modeling streams of Trashy, you should check out Mr. Trashcan. Hold on, I can actually manage to give a shout out, I think. Sometimes I manage, sometimes I don't. Holy god, I'm a horrible streamer. There we go. I managed to do it. It wasn't easy for me, but yes, everybody follow Trashcan. Not only is he a great city streamer, but he models on stream. And I think especially right now with the asset editor out, many people are very interested to learn more about making assets and the asset editor. And a great place to do so is watch our cutie when he's modeling on stream, because yes, Trashy is great at Blender, but I guess it's the very first time for you as well that you use the asset editor. So Trashy also needs to figure out how things work and sometimes needs to troubleshoot and understand why things are not behaving. So honestly, highly recommend if you want to learn something about the editor. I mean, the truth is, yes, he models also welcome in QT. But yes, he is an absolute stunning high fashion model. Because not even joking, he has a great command in his stream, and in some of these commands you can choose the hat he's wearing, and then he's quite literally gonna be a cute hat model for you. It's like OnlyFans, just even better, because you're the one who chooses what what he wears, and obviously, Trashy also is a lot cuter than everybody who's ever been on OnlyFans. So cancel all of your OnlyFans subscriptions and instead subscribe to Trashy. Yes, only hats. In fact, that is very true. That is exactly what you're getting on Trashy's channel, and I'm all there for it. Now, the only thing we have to manage with Trashy is that he also starts plopping in City Skylines, because Trashy is one of those horrible people that sometimes you hear about. He's one of those zoners, and he likes zoning in his city, which I'm not gonna say we spit on zoners, but we kinda spit on zoners, though we love you even though you're playing the game in a way that's not as fun as it should be. Well, see, here comes the thing. I am very glad about Platter. I think it's a great mod. I'm super happy that all of you are finally getting a bit more control over the game. For me, Platter is of zero interest, not because I don't think it's a great mod. It is an amazing mod, and I'm glad that people who like zoning now have a better way to zone. All of that is great and amazing. But if you plop, Platter is still not doing anything better, right? Because the thing I don't like about zoning is I give up control. I want to choose every building. I want to make sure everything is exactly the way I want it to be. And Platter doesn't help me with that, not in the slightest. Yes, Platter makes the zoning a bit less bad than it would otherwise be. But I still cannot choose a building, right? I don't like zoning because I want to choose a building. I want to put exactly the kind of building where I want it to be, right? Like, this is not a building. You can't zone. Platter cannot help me do any of this, right? This is 6 buildings spliced into each other and moved into each other. I want this to never change the way it looks. I want all of this to be exactly the way it is. So, really, Platter is not helping me in my playstyle. For people that zone, Platter is amazing, and I'm glad they now have Platter to zone a little less miserable. But then the real solution is to just stop zoning entirely and just use plop the globals instead. Yeah, and I get that, right? It's like all depending on how you play, but I don't even know. I need to reconstruct, but I'm playing cities for like a bit over a year now, like a year and 2 months maybe. I guess Los Vagos is probably like 8 months by now. I built this small city in 8 months, right? I'm not here to win a race or anything. I'm here to have a good time. So I don't know. I don't mind looking manually for buildings or something, but I just hate giving up control. Like, for me, Platter does not solve anything, right? Because I still have the issue of not controlling what I put down were and buildings changing and All of that is unwanted. Don't change anything in my build. I make it exactly how I want it to be. Yeah, but how many people do you have living in yours? Because I have 20,000, and out of these 20,000, the majority of these are cheated. Because this entire horrible looking place back there, I don't consider that to be a city. I don't consider that to be a build. It's an architecture library for me to look at what kind of buildings we want to use for that city later on. But this is probably 70% of our population that really we don't care about. We could just delete all of that. Our actual population in Los Vagos, the place we've been building, is probably like 7,000, maybe. I mean, my city also functions very well, but there is no socialist. My city is a dictatorship. I'm playing Tropico and I'm El Presidente. And if you don't listen to what I want, then you go to jail. The problem is we don't have a jail yet, but we will build a jail soon because many people don't listen, and I need to teach them. So yes, we already started. In fact, I can show you where the jail will be happening later. We already started pre-layouting something that is gonna turn into a jail later, because yeah, no socialized social paradise in our city. In our city, either you behave or you go to jail. So no, not much paradise to be found, to be honest. Gaga, I don't know about that. We can do a trade, Gaga. I buy you your new monitor, and
You
you
in jail.
buy me a
Right away.
5070 Ti.
No trial,
Then
no nothing. Right to jail.
we
Right
have
away.
a deal. Holy shit, that was beautiful. I love it, Cuboid. I entirely forgot that I even installed Tangia. I think this is the first or the second Tangia ever sent in my channel. That was beautiful. I love that meme. And yes, that is exactly the vibes we have here in Los Vagos. If you don't behave, you go straight to jail indeed. I am paying you in heavy exposure, Trashy. I've been telling you loads. Just tell your landlord that you're a superstar on Twitch and YouTube, and I'm sure he will waive away the rent. Who needs money if you can have exposure? But thanks Q, very cute of you. In fact, all of what I'm making on this channel is sadly not gonna get invested into Trashy's models, but is gonna instead get invested so I can have a graphic card that manages to actually hit 30 frames in this game. So it is gonna be used for a good cause. And after being so bad with bollards lately and literally not giving any of you any bollard time for months over months, the amount of bollards we're placing today, finally, bollard time is back. Mm, yes and no. It's something that I've been talking about a lot. That really depends. There is no simple answer to this. In a city like yours, yes, your city is most likely gonna be CPU bound because you don't use very many custom assets, you don't use very many decals, and you have a fairly big population, so your simulation is gonna be quite heavy, right? In a city like mine, my CPU is falling asleep currently. Like my CPU is under 40% load at this moment. My CPU is taking a holiday. My GPU, meanwhile, is absolutely suffering while I'm playing this game. That is because my CPU is not great, but better than my GPU, I guess, in comparison. But it also really depends on your city, right? Because my city is very, very highly detailed and very small. So my city is very simulation light, but very graphical heavy. So short, long yapping, short answer is it really depends. Can be CPU heavy for the majority of people, it will be with how they play, but for someone building like me, nope, this game is not CPU heavy. In fact, I'm streaming on my CPU because if I stream on my GPU, we're getting issues while I'm playing Cities, but my CPU is falling asleep while we're playing Cities, so I'm using a CPU encoder because that is better for my stream than using a GPU encoder, which is counterproductive. And yes, if you Google and ask people, hey, what kind of computer should I buy for Cities? Everybody is going to tell you, hey, you need a good CPU, and a GPU doesn't matter that much. I, again, would very much disagree. The bus is so cute, Riza. I agree. The bus has one slight problem that ruins it a little in my city. Where is the bus? Well, actually, we should get buses drive through here. The problem is our left-hand traffic. Because the bus is so goddamn cute. It fits Los Vagos so well. I'm an absolute gigantic fan of it. But is always in the wrong side. Come on. Now we want a bus? Give us some. Okay, we just go here instead. But yeah, look, since we're wrong side traffic, we have the door here at the right side, but generally while we're driving at the street, we have our door at the wrong side. So here it actually does work because this is a custom station. So not a great example, but for any roadside stations, our door is sadly in the wrong side, which I might be able to ask Clyde about this because I would assume that's not too much work to just flip the doors, but then I don't know, to be honest. But yes, when I've seen this bus, I loved it because I'm aware that this bus is probably not the best fit for most people's cities. Like you wouldn't find a bus like this in most US cities or in most European cities. But then for Los Vagos, this bus is perfect for us. And yes, it's one of my very favorite assets from the asset editor. So I agree, is lovely. Especially since Clyde actually managed to get the displays on the buses working as well. So I think it's a bit more difficult for the vehicles because he would also need to flip the bones, and I know that flipping the bones in cities currently causes the normals to be inverted and flipped as well. So you have to trick around a bit to get the bones to behave while you're flipping the mesh. Otherwise, yes, that should be very little work. But sadly, due to the vehicle bones being a bit finicky, I think with vehicles, it's more difficult to flip than with anything else, really. But yes, that bus is beautiful. And in fact, when we finally spend enough time to go through and actually rename our stations and all of that, then not only is the bus so cute, but we will also have proper destinations here. Right now it's Bus Depot, because yeah, that's where we started the line and we didn't change any of our naming anywhere. But I think this is a super cute detail that these actually work as well. Yes, I mean, it's a Brazilian bus, I believe. since Clyde is Brazilian. I believe he just took a Brazilian bus, so indeed very South American. Which works great for me, I guess does not work that great for most other people, but who cares? We've gotten gifted, other people can suffer, I guess. I used to have a bit of problems with Write Everywhere modules in that regard, because the truth is, yes, Write Everywhere, I love that mod and I'm a big fan of it. Write Everywhere is kinda performance heavy, not too bad, but should be used mindful at least. And the issue is Write Everywhere needs stuff to be functional so it can fetch the data, right? So if you build custom stations, then Write Everywhere is struggling a lot more with that. And I, for example, would have loved to use the Write Everywhere module for the gas station prices. Here we can actually make a good example because this one respawned. This is the vanilla pylon from the gas station, right? I hate the vanilla pylons. I always yeet out the vanilla pylons and then use my own ones. The issue now is if I would want to use a Write Everywhere module, this pylon does not belong to the gas station anymore because this is just a unfunctional prop we plopped. So the Write Everywhere module for the gas station prices will not work on these. It would work on the vanilla pylon that we just deleted, but for the custom ones it doesn't. And I believe there currently is no workaround for any of that, and it's a bit of a bummer because it makes the Write Everywhere modules, at least parts of them, not as useful to me as they would otherwise be. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in, Trashy, and have an absolute wonderful evening. Looking forward to more progress of your modeling journey and looking forward to eventually get my hands on your cute model in game as well. Again, for anybody who wants to check out Trashy while modeling, go follow him on Twitch. It is very entertaining. Maybe only if you're into modeling stuff and you're a bit of a nerd. But for me personally, I like most trashy streams, but I especially like trashy modeling streams. So looking forward to you to continue. I used to love Stranger Things, but then I struggled getting back into series that I was watching, and then they are still airing, and I reached the end of it. Now I don't even remember where I stopped, and I'd have to rewatch and other things like that. So let's see. Eventually, I would also like to watch Stranger Things, though. But yes, also to you, Riza. Thanks for tuning in, and have a nice evening. And enjoy Stranger Things. Somebody, you will actually like that. Hold on, Riza, as a very, very last thing before you run, because if you're gonna go watch Stranger Things, there is
I wish
somebody
we
in
had a
Suli's
cactus.
Discord who is working on a Stranger Things arc card. So sooner than later, you will actually get a Stranger Things asset in the game if the gentleman manages to get through the editor, at least sooner than later, you will get the Stranger Things art card. And welcome in, Clovis. Nice to see you, cutie. And thanks a lot for that sub. Very appreciated. And soon we will get proper Clovis streams again as well, because Clovis has been suffering a bit with the stability issues with his game that I think are a thing of the past now. I think I've helped Clovis getting there. And I will use this opportunity to use Clovis as a both positive example, because amazing human and streamer that everybody should check out, but also as a negative example, because the way Clovis managed to break his game is to just sub to everything on PDX that looks like a cool asset. Newsflash, assets can break your game. If you download a lot of them and they are untested, then the chances of your game having a problem afterwards is a quite high one. So no shame in testing different mods and trying around with these kind of things. But the advice I would always give is do not add too many things at once. If you add 5 new things and your game worked before, suddenly your game doesn't work anymore, it will be very easy for you to figure out what you added that has been causing issues, right? But if you add 100 things and suddenly your game doesn't work anymore, you don't have that same luxury. You will have to troubleshoot and enable and disable for a long time till you know what caused the issue. So learn from Clovis and try out things, but be aware that they can cause issues and add them somewhat carefully, one by one, or something that I've been trying to establish in my Discord. I've been trying to test a lot of assets, and then I've been posting all of the ones that look good, have no issues, and work flawlessly in my Discord. So people who are looking for assets can obviously try themselves as well. But if you're lazy and you don't want to test things yourself, just use something like my Discord as a resource for what things you can use safely and what you can't. So this area is starting to come together a lot better already. This one is probably going to be a bit annoying because obviously here we would like to have the branding up in this area. But now comes the kicker. This area is not really suited to use decals on them. So all of the branding on this building will most likely be exclusively right everywhere, which always is quite a bit more work. So I'm not entirely sure what we're gonna brand this into. We have to figure a bit and think about it, but eventually we will have to brand this into something nice. Oh, and Clovis, actually, I have a question for you because I've been wondering yesterday while looking at all of these signs. I need you to explain to me when something is saying exit only and when it isn't, because quite a few of these signs, this one is a good example, have this exit only. Why is this exit only and not just a direction? When do we use an exit? Is an exit only used for highway exits? Because if you look at, hold on, let me place one of these again so I can give a better example. The medium one is the best to show it on. If we take this and then we import the Ride Everywhere module for this real quick, this is what I mean. So this would mean this is a highway exit on this lane and bringing you there. What if it's something like this? Then this wouldn't get an exit because this is just a direction. Is this correct? Because I removed the exit here because this is not a highway exit. Obviously, this is a highway on ramp. So something like this wouldn't have an exit. Something like this actually would. I guess this is not really a highway, but kinda. This is our main connection at least. Something like this could be correct. Okay, so actually, I guess that one is incorrect where it is then. We should remove the exit. That is not bad, because then I can give a good example on how to use those, because I've been trying around earlier to find a fitting example. If we would want to remove the exit here, because the exit is incorrect, that should be fairly easy. Because now we just have to find which one is which. This is the top corner. Now I say this should be easy. Maybe I lied, but it should actually be easy. Hold on. I just want to understand. Okay, that's the one up there. That is 60, so it should be this one. Let's just see. 73, we change this. Okay, that's the one. And now here, because we want to change this to an exit, this template is really, really well made. You can just go in the atlas, and then you see, because we want to make the atlas just a normal arrow, but not an exit. We change this atlas to the arrow one. Once we do that, obviously it cannot be displayed anymore, because the image we've been using is not there anymore. But now we change the atlas. We have all of these arrows in here. And for what we want to do there, for example, this is the right and perfect one. Now the position is not optimal because we've been doctoring in this template a little, and I guess the size might be a tad too big. But we can just adjust it and adjust the size. And now, well, that's actually a tad too small, 40. Now we adjusted that sign from the exit real quick, and now obviously, since this is not an exit at all anymore, we can even go ahead and delete this layer and also delete this layer. And now it's just a normal directional sign, right? We could have also built this ourselves from zero, but it would have been a lot more work than what we done here. This template is amazing. Like absolutely amazing. Again, I cannot recommend it because apparently some people on Skype seem to have issues with it. But for me, it's working flawless. I have absolutely no issues with it. So I can tell you guys, just try it out. Be warned that it might cause issues for you because some of them seem to cause issues for people. But again, for me, it's been flawless. And then you can really easily get quick, beautiful signs like this. And welcome in, MND. Indeed, long time no see. And I guess the timing is indeed decided. You need ads right away. I hope you had a nice holidays and nice to see you, mate. I'm probably half to blame for a long time no see, because I've been streaming very infrequently and little these last days and weeks, so it would have been difficult to catch my streams, even if you would have had a lot of time watching. I hope it's gonna get a lot better again in the start of the next year. But truth is, as soon as the next year starts, I'm gonna be in holidays for 12 days. So after that, it can get better. At the very start of the year, it's gonna start even worse. But maybe I'll stream tomorrow again. If I manage, I will stream tomorrow again, and then it's gonna be a bit of a break afterwards. Yeah, I mean, of course, time zones always difficult. I know the feel a lot because somebody who was in here earlier that I like to watch a lot, for example, is our cute Mr. Grey Noise, and I can quite literally never manage to catch a Grey Noise stream because the man exclusively streams when I'm sleeping. Or maybe I can tune in real quick while he's having breakfast or something like that, but that's about the extent to which I can watch a Grey Noise. Well, okay, then after January 9th, we have to wait a few more days. I'm back from my holidays on the 13th, maybe the 12th already. And then I'm probably gonna stream a lot because I will have a long break of streaming and will miss streaming. So I'm sure once that happens, I'm gonna stream quite a lot. Yeah, the start of the year, I'm gone as well. Where are your holidays going to, or are you just doing peaceful holidays at home to unwind a little? Obviously, we have to change that texture as well to match. None of these textures are final textures that I imagine anywhere here. I mean, yeah, I can relate. I'm also mainly gonna be around at home during this holiday, so gonna do quite a bit of like trips and nice activities with my miss as well, so I don't think I'll get to stream very much in that time. This is the one we use here. We have to revisit. I'm not sure about the surfaces here yet at all. A lot of this is up for discussion, but I guess with what we're doing today, because of the sitting sims or the sims in general, I want to investigate and have a look at them a bit. I don't want to detail too much yet, so I think we're gonna use the time to work out this area a bit more as well, so at least all of this is looking a bit more finished from above than it does right now. But yes, we have been growing a lot, MND. I'm not sure when the last time you tuned in was, but slowly and surely, I've been reworking this area here a lot and we're making progress. Ignore everything below this road. Everything north of this road is pretty much locked in stone layout wise, and I think slowly this side of Los Vagos is starting to take shape, especially with the entrance here also being a bit more finished up with the signage, where we have nice things like that. And then I think we build a bit around in this area and we build quite a lot of expansion in this area back here, which I'm not sure. I think this you've seen probably is a nice drive-in theater we've done. And then we've been working around this area. This is the last big longer build we built, which is a shooting range where people in typical US fashion shoot their guns at things. So I figured we need something like that as well in our build. And from there we kinda snowballed a bit and gotten all of this area out of it as well, which this is not yet detailed. This is still missing detail, but yes, we're slowly working through it. I also think this side of Los Vagos is starting to take a lot more shape. I mean, I do fear if you want to move to Australia, you indeed have to swerve more to fit in. I think Riz is onto something, to be honest, Shane. And I'm glad you like the gun range so much, Clovis. You have been very helpful in this gun range. Because again, I have no clue about any gun thing, so you were very helpful. Sadly, I can see that the right everywhere issues we had also been happening here, and here I'm actually not sure which element we have them on. But yes, we need to fix something here. This needs to be unflipped. Yes. That is a bit annoying because we have to do that anywhere. Sadly, the right everywhere changes that we've gotten lately, I think they are great. I think a lot of them should be the way they are. Sadly for us, it means it's causing us a bit of issue because it broke quite a bit of our right everywhere, things like this. I did not plan on cleaning this up, but while we were talking about it, might as well do so. If any of you are wondering what changed and what is happening, what changed in Right Everywhere is that it does not render the backside of stuff anymore, which is great for anything where you can't see the backside. Here, for example, we can never see the backside of this, so we don't care about it, right? But it means that this, for example, we have had accidentally flipped on the wrong side, so we need to flick it back. And I will have an even better example in this gun range in a moment. Because for things that you can see from the back, this can be a bit problematic. Please let me catch the back. Nice. Because if you can see it from the back, currently that is broken. You can set that for everything. It's something that is very easy to change. I'm going to find a good example for this because we have good examples here. It's something like this clothesline, right? Obviously, this is perfect. From the front, it's exactly like we want. And then we turn around the camera. Suddenly this happens. Obviously, this is not what we want. And what causes this is that the back of these are not getting rendered. We can change that fairly easily if we go in here and you see this thing, you see the shader properties. Something that is now new is that you can decide if you want to render the back face or you don't. Obviously, for these, we want to render the back face because you can see the back face. It makes sense that this is turned off by default. Because for something like this, obviously it would be nonsense to render the back face. That would just waste resources because we could never see it and it would still get rendered. But since this got added while we had built this already, this means we now have to go back and revisit some where the back face is missing and we have to turn them on to get it to work properly again. Yes, I think it's something that people missed a bit because that was changed kinda without big notice. And I've heard people saying, "Oh no, all of my Right Everywhere stuff broke." Nothing broke, you just have to fix it. The problem is for something like this is a very easy fix, right? If you have something that has a lot of depth and many different elements, then yes, this is pretty tedious and can be fairly annoying. So not the biggest fan of a change like this, cause it's making us quite a lot of work. But I understand why Clyde decided to do this, and I think it's a good decision. But yeah, actually good that we're talking about this, because I like teaching you guys things, and for once I actually have something good to teach, and it's this shader property thing. Because now you can see, right? Like these fixed up perfectly fine. This one not fixed up. What I actually find very hilarious is that even if you don't render the back face, you still get the shadows from it. So you can actually get some funny results with shadow drawings where nothing actually is available. I also hope that I need to, again, I want to ask Suli about this because I also think Suli didn't realize that this happened. And many of the Suli packs also, I shouldn't say broke, they work, but kinda broke. If we look at these, for example, I showed it before already. These from this side, entirely weird. Suddenly, from the right side, this works. We could fix this manually for ourselves, but then I believe Suli will have to fix this for other people anyways. So I'm not gonna fix this because I assume Suli will fix this for us. But you can see this issue everywhere, right? Like see here, for example, the first one is rendering both sides and has depth, but then all of these layers behind it that are adding the 3D depth, they disappear as soon as we look at it from the back because the back face isn't rendered. And I believe even the McDonald's is facing the same issue. Yeah, see, from this side, full 3D arc. From this side, suddenly is a 2D layer. And it's because all but this first layer here have the back face rendering disabled now. So yes, it's a bit tedious, right? Because I've done this here, for example, the way you fix this, sadly, with stuff that is as deep, we actually need to go in here, because this one is flipped the wrong side on the back. The issue is I don't know where this one is. And this is where it gets annoying, right? Because both Suli as well as many of the things I built, they have this many layers, which means you have to actually open all of these layers and then take that thing for all of them, which again is not great. I wish it would be working different, but it isn't. I just need to understand where which item is. We want to have this very back one here. This is the front, so I guess this actually should be the correct one. This is the other side. This is that one. Okay, so we should be in this one. What happens if we flip this one? That's this side. So it should be the very last entry in this list. And then we need to flip that. I already turned on that all of these have the back face rendering on as well, which, yes, annoying and tedious. But this one, we also need to flip. Why do we need to... Do we need to turn it? I shouldn't have to turn it. In the past, we could just flip it. I guess it doesn't work anymore. What if we just turn it then? I guess that is the solution. Interesting. In the past, you could just flip the backside to get it correct. But here, you actually just have to flip it. Doesn't matter, we fix it. Now it is how we want it. Want to check, because these I already fixed up as well. This is fine. This one I've been too lazy with, because from the front it looks fine, and then from the back... Oh, actually I did fix that one as well. But yes, it's quite a few more of these that we have to fix. Like, for example, here, this dollar tree we can see from the back, and then we can't. So this would be one of the ones we have to fix. And then, yes, I can show you guys how to fix it again with these depth layers. It's sadly quite a bit more annoying. I tend to just open all of them at first. Otherwise, I think it's even more tedious. But what I usually do is just open all of them, then go in the shader property, and then you can literally just do this on every single of the layers. And then it's fine. Again, I get why Clyde made this change, because it does make Right Everywhere a lot less performance heavy, especially in all of the places where the backside rendering is necessary, but I'm a bit annoyed by it, because as you can see, it means that, yes, exactly what you are saying, it is a bit tedious. The good news is anything that's like this, you don't have to fix, right? Because here it doesn't matter. You can never see the back face, so nothing to fix. But then everything that is out in the open, like these elements, yes, you will have to fix. Like, I'm sure, for example, here we have a few more bad examples. Yeah, see, these break. Yep, it is a lot to fix. These will all break as well. So yeah, I'm with you. It's gonna be a lot of annoyance. Like this, for example, as well. This gonna disappear once we move to the back. Which I guess at least you guys can see how much effort I put into actually giving this a proper connection. Because that is not that easily visible when it is there. But yes, I'm gonna do slow progress on that. Every once in a while, I'll go back and fix some of them. But yes, it is a lot of work and it is slightly annoying. So I'm very much agreeing with your reaction of that oof, because indeed, big oof. The other way around, you can't really fault Clyde at something like this either, right? Because maybe he always wanted to do this, but it wasn't popular in the past, or maybe now right everywhere usage has gotten so much higher that now there is need for disabling the backface, right? That is not something that he could see coming, and it would even be worse to have all backsides on by default and then have to go back and disable them everywhere where you don't need them. This is the better solution than that, but yeah, also not a big fan of it. You can buy everything in this city unless it's bought already. Everything in this city can be bought. So no, sure, you can buy this. Like this city is very open to corruption. If you want to give the president of this city money, then he will never say no to that. I don't know the president of this city and have nothing to do with that guy, but I can tell you as much. This city is very open to corruption and bribes, so gladly you're always welcome with any of that. These a bit deeper just to get them far enough, and even these we make a bit deeper so we can just use that more. Yes, 1,000 social credits is what it takes, in fact. What is and something that you buy, I always have to clarify. If you buy a building or a street that is permanently yours and forever yours, and you can just lock it down, there is another redeem, and it's a district takeover. The district takeover is very cheap, but it's also not permanent. So you can always go back and steal everybody's area of the city. You can make the entire city belong to you if you have enough social credits. The problem is everybody else can also go back and steal that back of you. So nothing really is forever here. But yes, with buildings and street, it is forever, and it's 1,000 social credits. I think I don't know even my own prices. They are definitely a bit too cheap, I guess, by now. But I don't know. I like
I
it
am
if you
moving in,
guys
boy.
own things and have your own things in my city. So I don't mind that it's cheap. I will give it to you in one moment. I just want to drag out this surface real quick. I don't think we're gonna keep the surface we're using here right now, but just to give this a bit more finished style. I think this surface we also want to get rid of again. None of this is what I like. All right, yours it is. Now, an interesting question. We are gonna learn something here together. Because if this is your bus terminal, we're actually just gonna call it M&D's terminal. Hold on, we're literally not gonna even put the D. We're gonna call it M&D, and we'll write it properly. Terminal. The reason I want to write this properly is that now we're gonna go in here and also gonna name these stations M&D terminal. And now in future, when we're gonna go ahead and properly use write everywhere modules to display our things in the buses, all of these should actually show M&D terminal if they go here, which I think would be very cool because then it will literally display M&D terminal up there. So we have to make sure that we name these things appropriately already to make use of that in future. I've not properly played around with that yet. One of the big reasons is because our bus networks in the city are still very messy, and I always struggle to properly clean them up because the city is not done enough, so I don't really know yet where I need the bus traffic. But I think after we finish this area here a bit more, probably one of the things we're gonna do is to delete all inner city buses in Los Vagos. We can keep all of the outside connection ones and intercity ones, but everything in Los Vagos we will go in, delete, and replace entirely, and then make sure we name the stations appropriately. And then I also want to start using the Ride Everywhere module for the station blinds. With this one, I'm still a bit sad because with this one, I would actually love to use the actual park, because this is an actual park that we have here. But there is a problem, and I asked Yang Yang about it, and Yang Yang said there is no solution for this right now. And the problem is a very simple one. We cannot delete any of the sub-elements below ground here, and I don't like the sub-elements. I would love to keep this as a functional park, so people actually have good and nice pathfinding everywhere here. But again, our problem is we cannot delete anything down here. So we're kind of forced to use the ploppable version of it till Yang Yang updates Better Bulldozer, and then in future we'll probably be able to swap it out for the functional version instead. But for now, sadly, that's not really a thing for us. I wish it would be, but yeah, not really. But this bus station is really cool. Like I'm happy that you like it because I'm not even sure which it came with. I guess Bridges and Ports because it's from the ferry terminal. But I didn't play so much lately, so I didn't know where this was from. And I was looking at the ploppables, and what an absolute banger of an asset. Finally, a fairly small and compact station that really by itself looks great already, I think. You can even, if you want to have it bigger, you could even line two of them up against each other to have it even bigger. No, it's literally just a vanilla asset. I don't yet use very many custom assets. I use a lot of custom vehicles and I use custom power lines, but building wise, the only custom stuff we are currently yet using is back here. The only custom assets that we have used so far is this beautiful gas station by Elgendo that we turned into Elgendo's Miyata gang headquarters. This is one of the new custom assets I love and we're using. Another one you can see right here and is a bit of a second guess one, but is the power lines. These power lines are beautiful. In fact, we'll have to revisit quite a lot of our power infrastructure and replace. This is my very favorite custom asset in the game right now. There is other really, really good ones. Please don't take it as this is the best one. This is the coolest one to me. I love the style and flair of it, and I absolutely love the Whataburger here in the front. So this is a custom asset that we absolutely love. This is a custom asset. I don't think we'll keep it though. And this is a custom asset. I didn't even pay attention to the train speed. Or was it that fast? Maybe we need to adjust the speed of our trains eventually. But there is great custom assets. In fact, MND, if you're looking for the best custom assets that actually are tested and worked out, I did make a like forum collection channel in my Discord where I add all of the assets that I tested and did not find any issues with that seem to be high quality. I'm sure I'm not catching everything, but I think the majority of good assets I have caught so far. So if you want to have an overlook at what good stuff is out there already, I can recommend to check in my Discord in the asset collection because there is a lot of good stuff. There also is a lot of bad stuff, and there is a lot of stuff that I hope will be good in future. Quite a few of the assets I tested look really, really nice, but have some small issues with them still. And some of them already gotten updated. I always revisit everything if it gets updated and try to see if maybe there's been progress made. But again, I've not sorted all of them, but some of them blue screen you. I think some of them been fixed, but I added like 4 different assets at the start that straight up blue screened my game when I added them. So be a bit careful with just adding everything to your main playsets. It might bite you in the ass later on. And here I'm just gonna play around a bit because I want a more interesting layout for these surfaces than what we have right now. And I want areas where we can go in with planters and protect this a bit and give this some nice green space. I don't exactly know what our plan is here, so bear with me. We're gonna figure out what we want to do here. I actually think this is pretty nice though. Obviously, we'd have to match these better, but it gives this a bit more protection and peace if we fill this up with plants. Yeah, this I would just put a bit like here. This I guess is a good representation, right? Where we go in with vegetation to protect it a bit and have it more enclosed than otherwise. So really just that. Probably not even planters in this area, probably actual plants, maybe even a grass space. But I just want to have this be more protected from the road. I don't like that the people are straight to the road. And I also think the layout of these surfaces gets a lot more interesting if you add some variation and actual proper realistic pathing into it than if you just keep it blank. Even here, right? Like then here we can fill this out with plants. So there is a bit more protection in between the cars and the people hanging out in the park. A lot of what we're doing right here is usually something that I hide off stream because I think this is fairly tedious and boring. Yeah, no worries. I never say anything important, so if I keep talking during an ad break, you can always be guaranteed that you're not missing anything of relevance, because I have never in my life said anything of relevance. Yeah, don't worry. If an ad is running and you can't hear me, then that ad is probably doing you a favor, so you don't have to listen to me yapping anymore. So I wouldn't be too mad about it in your shoes. I think I like this though. Obviously, we have to finish this on this side. But if we work these out with plants and give this nice green space, I think that's a lot more interesting than the open layout we initially had here. So I do think this approach is the right one. Obviously, we have to clean this up a bit so these lines are more matched to each other. Here, for example, very easy to see that these aren't very well matched. That looks better already. These roughly look the same. This looks pretty solid. this one is a bit too wide in comparison. So this one, I guess we want to move slightly inside. Oh, actually, no, hold on. We want to go all the way down here, match this one, and then we go up here, go here, go down. Again, what you're seeing right now is something that I mainly hide away and we just do proper detailing work. But this is a very important piece. Like, I think the better you lay out your surfaces to begin with, the easier your time will be later on when you actually go in and detail stuff. So I would always take my time to figure these things out as well as we can. Here I'm not entirely sure if this is perfectly moved. Sadly, this is going to be a bit annoying because we need to keep the clip surface but not the other one. So we'll have to go into multi-selection. Now we deselect this one. Oh, god damn it. Oh, we did not have, okay, hold on, that's on me. We did not have billings connected as well. Now that should be fine. And I just want to move this up to the road real quick to see if we're matching the angle. We're nearly matching the angle, but not perfectly, as we can see. So I'm gonna move this back and we're gonna very slightly adjust this. Because now also these look better. I was wondering why these have wrong orientation slightly, but now we fix up this orientation. Have to fix up some of the margins down here as well, but these should be better. And welcome in Obelix. Nice to see you, cutie. How are you enjoying the asset editor? And what is your favorite new asset so far? Actually, I need to remember to ask everyone that question because I find it a very interesting one. Does this look like why does this not look like perfect 90 degrees compared to this also doesn't? These should all be perfect. This looks pretty good. And these, I guess, I'm not sure if we mess up the angle, it might also be terrain here. But these, yeah, no, it's not terrain. Then we have to actually remove this and do it by eye, because that angle definitely is not exactly what we want. That looks a lot better. Yeah, I wish there was a way. I guess there is a way. I'm also not the best with Move It, to be honest. I think there would be a way to take this and take this rotation as well, and then match them with Move It, but I tend to just do it by eye. Now the question is, are these the same width, roughly at least, doesn't have to be perfect. Next question is, are these and these the same width? Also roughly. This one is a tad too wide actually. So this we will adjust slightly and pull it in here and adjust this angle slightly. And even this angle we want to break up a bit to be more parallel. And last ask is, are these matching? And these are not matching at all. This one is too wide. Here, actually, we do want the 90 degrees in as well. Come on. Is this too high already? I'm going to zoom in even closer, so maybe we can get the smallest gap without snapping possible. It's not going to cut it. It's too little. Yeah, we're gonna have to do it without snapping. It's fine, and we can manage to eyeball this. This looks pretty spot on, and now we can turn the snapping back on, and move this one up. And now the last little correction we have to do is these two margins. And then this should be perfect. This is definitely too small. It might already be too big. Slightly, actually. God damn it. I hate that this is so finicky sometimes, but again, you want to do this right because it's going to save you a lot of work later on. This should actually be pretty optimal then. There we go. Yeah, I'm the same. I also do like I actually have to fight my symmetry disease a bit because I think I tend to make things too symmetric and perfect for them to look interesting. So I think one of my big takeaways on cities has always been that symmetry disease. I need to fight it, else my cities will look unrealistically centered and symmetric. While I do find that very pretty and I'm very drawn to doing that, I don't think it looks very realistic. So I personally try to actually not do that too much in this game. And I try to break out of getting everything too nice and symmetric. Because the truth as well is, if you look at Google Maps and if you look at realistic road infrastructure, god damn is some of that crazy back and forth and unorganized and slightly missing 90-degree angles and curves not being very smooth, a lot of small things like that. Yeah, I mean, I guess so, I agree, but then I guess that's just realistic in the end. Which sometimes can be comforting, right? Because sometimes when I guess you miss the same problem as me, and we're trying a bit too hard to get it perfect, sometimes the truth is just stop trying as hard because that's gonna make it look better and more realistic. Obviously, only to a very certain degree, and generally you do want to try get these in as well as you can, but yeah, real world infrastructure is all but perfectly measured and smooth at all times, so we can also get away with not getting it perfect at times. Okay, this is always a bit tedious. This is also something I tend to often hide off stream because I think this is not that interesting to watch, but maybe it's also insightful for people because truth is don't do your vegetation with line tool. It's never gonna look as good as what we're doing here. It's never gonna look as authentic, and it's fine that this takes time. Most good builders, which I am not one of those, but if you look at people like Moose or Sully, they spend a godly amount on plans, and if you want to have a build that's as cute as theirs, you will do yourself a favor if you're also not rushing your vegetation, but properly building up different layers and make it interesting and feel authentic. And one last layer, this one is a bit of a special because we are in a pretty special, well-taken area, so we actually want to give this some slight color, not too much. I don't want this to be super well taken care of or curated, and especially with more layers that we're gonna add on top of this color is gonna make a nice contrast, I believe. This is not custom. This is, well, this is just recolored. This pack has been there for a long, long time. It's the Brian Rosha. I hope I pronounce his name correct. But the Brian Rosha Vibrant Foliage pack, I think. I can tell you though that yes, so far there has not been any custom vegetation that made it onto PDX, but I can tell you I've seen screenshots of people who are working on cool custom vegetation already, so just be patient and sooner than later you will get a positive surprise. The one thing, obviously, that we can't wait for in Los Vagos is a goddamn cactus. Like, please, God hacking them, give us cactuses. One of the questions I have here, but we can decide that together in a
I
moment,
wish we had a cactus.
is if we want to build this in appropriately with walls as well. And I think probably the answer is yes. I'm gonna leave the vegetation how it is right now, because this is the kinda ground level layer that I'm aiming for, and it also allows us to properly judge the layout. I think the layout is very cute with these small entrances. One thing we might, I think we want to change one thing about our layout. I love cactuses so much, you don't even know
Bye. Have
how
a great
much of a
time.
pain point it is to not have that in here. And bye bye, Klimstrand. Thanks for tuning in, mate. Very nice of you, and have a nice evening. Think the thing I want to change here, and I'm curious about your guys' opinion, because again, I don't have a plan here. You are figuring the plan together, but I think this layout would look more interesting and even cuter if we do this. Pull these in, actually match the width of these there. Then we do the same here. We bring this up to match the other side. We bring this down to match roughly up there. And then we bring this up like this. Then we can fill up this area with plants as well. That way we have this even more protected. We're also losing a bit of plaza outside place, but I do think it's more interesting. If you guys had to choose between, obviously, imagine this would be filled in with plants, but what about this? Oh, you mean the passengers waiting? Yeah, I know. It's because my bus lines are not properly optimized. And I think especially on this bus line, it's a pretty long one. I think I run very little vehicles, so sometimes the line gets pretty long. That's something we do have to revisit in future. M&D, you're the one to decide, because you're the most active right now. Left or right? Which is the layout of choice? Left? Interesting. I probably would have decided for right, but I get it, to be honest. This gives a lot of freedom for us to work with some nice plazas and planters up here. So I don't hate it. I'm gonna listen to you and go with your decision. So we're just gonna rebuild the nonsense we did here. This one I can tell was not exactly at 90 degree. So this one we wanna oh, hold on. This we wanna delete. Now we wanna eyeball this. There we go. Okay, left it is. You get your choice. This is it. And if you want to see crazy bus terminal, you need to look at this. Look at what is going on here. Because this is our like main Los Vagos bus terminal. Oh, I'm back. Maybe it did. I can hear you, see you. Yeah, sorry for that. Not sure why. Yeah, my bad. I did not have internet issues so much lately, so should be fine. But yeah, I can tell because it says Seribot is here, which Seribot is here only ever comes when my internet is dying. So I guess my stream died for a moment. What I was saying while you were saying that this is the actual bus terminal that is madness. Because look at this. This is our main bus terminal and it's not even particularly full right now. But the amount of people you get to see in this place here is absurd. Like, look at what is happening here. It is, again, is at 10 in the evening, right? So, if you see this during rush hour, it's a lot crazier. So I'm not too worried about this bus terminal, the other one up here yet, because in comparison to our main bus terminal, there is basically nothing happening at all. I'm still sad about this. I would really love to just use a functional one, because the issue is we want people down here, right? But we will not be able to get the passing as smooth as in the vanilla asset with the stairs. We can try, but I really wish I could just use the actual functional park here instead. Which I guess we won't be able to anytime soon, so I guess we should just pass it ourselves. But I don't really want to. I guess what can we do? We will have to pass this ourselves. So instead of complaining, we will go ahead and at least connect the upper passes already. Go through here, go all the way back here. With these, I'm never sure if I wanna, I guess we actually do want them to overlap. Sometimes I get weird levels with these, but yeah, no, that seems fine. Go here. I mean, connecting the upper part is not really an issue. The problem and what I'm not looking forward to is connecting the lower part with all of the stairs. And even here, I'm curious, is a path staying on top? Yeah, it actually is staying cleanly on top. That's a good sign. Very good sign, actually. Now, see this, for example, I don't understand. Why is he doing... Sometimes he does this. I've never understood why and why not. Here, if I connect it, he gives that weird raise as he'd have to cross them. If I don't connect it clearly, here it's flat. Why does this happen? I've never understood this. I've noticed this a lot. It's not a big problem. We can just move it a bit further to the side and then it should be fine. But weird. We have to do some science here. I am not entirely sure either. We collected or connected one lowered plaza in the past and it was fine. So I hope we can manage for this to also be fine. But yes, here, see, same thing. In some angle, here it suddenly goes over it. You could see it for a moment. And sometimes, yeah, here it goes over it. Here it connects. Just need to make sure that they actually connect and not go over each other. But that should be fine for the entire top of it. And now comes the finicky part, and the part that scares me, because this I'm not sure how great looking we can get this. That would actually look pretty spot on. It's even shorter or something like this. Now the question is this low enough on the floor? Do we have to go even lower here? This is too high and this is too low. I hate these. I wholeheartedly hate these passes underground. I'm just gonna try, just for science, to see how bad it is. But yeah, I think this is not good enough. I do think we need to do a better job here in future. Gonna reset the elevation on 0 so we can connect these, bring these right to the edge of it. This one is not great, I can tell already. This is better if we're a bit closer. I am very doubtful. I think the people down here are gonna float slightly. And the even bigger issue is, I think it's gonna be very difficult for us to bring somebody down there in the first place. It's not a problem. We now have the animated scenes. We can do a lot of that just by placing props and such, but I would like to get some actual movement through there as well. The problem is all of this on this side is unfunctional, so we don't really give people a reason to have to walk through here. We might, just to test this out, throw something across the road. I don't know. Place this weird park here just so hopefully we can see somebody. This is nice. I like it, but I want to see this pass and I want to see the side passes. That's the one we're particularly interested in. I mean, this already is cute though. I like it. But the one I would really like to see is, for example, the bridge one, because I think that adds a lot if we actually get people walking over the bridge. And then again, the lower plaza, I would like it to get used, but I doubt we will see much use it there. I tried, and it's one of the park gates is one of the blocks that I don't understand so well. I have to admit, maybe there is people here that can help me. Because you mean, yeah, this, right? The park service gate. The problem is if we place it all the way down, we need a road access for these. What we can do, I believe, is put a sign here, and then we could go in the park and use any of these upgrades in the bottom. The issue is I don't want any of these upgrades. Maybe we could try. Can we lower this by itself? Yeah, see, a bit problem with this is the lower part, because the lower part is not actually lowered. There is a clip surface here that makes us allow to see the lower terrain, but there is terrain right here. So we cannot really get there. Otherwise, yes, this would allow us to bring people down there. But due to it being lowered, I don't think we can. Yeah, I mean, what we can do, you actually do make a point. It's not even move it. What we can do is use EDT here. And now we need to. There was one of these toggles. First, we want this. Maybe these are not even bound. Let's see if it moves the gate as well. Nope. Okay, then this should allow us to do what we want. The issue is I don't think the pathfinding will work anymore, but just for science, we're gonna take this. Oh, look, I can, even though I lower and raise the Y value, that does not do anything. You see? So I sadly think this will not net us the solution we want. Ah, 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 ah! Do you see this? He's flying, kinda, a little. But look at what's happening here. I love it. The stair looks alright. The problem is the upper part of the stairs was not great, but the actual problem is that they are floating in the bottom. The question is, can we adjust these with... We can... Oh, we can. Can we manage to... Can I adjust these with EDT somehow? I can't, right? But even this should already help us. Hold on. I'm gonna save, because this is scary to me. Yeah, you're right. I need to untick the filter correctly as well. I just want to save, just in case, so something bad happens. We're not suffering. We want only segments and nodes. And now we choose something different just to make sure we're only getting what we want. Where's the difference here? This is the node and this is the segment already. Okay, so we want the node and we want the entire segment, and now we want this node as well. And now will we be able to just move those down with move it slightly? It looks like it. This could already be correct. I find it very difficult. Yeah, I don't think with EDT we can touch the invisible passes. Otherwise, EDT would be an even nicer solution here. But I think this might be right already. Like these two ticks. Now we only need to get in a nice position to have somebody walk down there again. I guess that's not gonna happen very often, but it just happened, so... Oh! Oh, actually, hold on. I was gonna complain and say, why did he disappear? But it makes sense, because I place a leisure block here, just for the sake. So him disappearing is actually perfectly fine. I was gonna say our passing is wrong, but no, it's a block. Please, somebody do me the favor. I guess it's 4 in the morning. Can't really blame people for not going to hang out in the park or doing some shopping, but inside of the block, I will delete this block. Don't worry. No, he went like, it makes sense because this block is supposed to be inside of a building, right? So I have blocks here placed that I just tried around with. We could just delete those blocks. In fact, probably I should. I'm going to leave them here for now because they bring more people to walk in this area. Is one of the reasons why we have it here. Now we just need, please go over the bridge. Ah, nice. Okay, the bridge is perfect. Look, he's exactly at ground level. I love it. Okay, bridge is bought. Now the only thing we need to verify is the bottom passing, and if the bottom passing is fine, then this is perfect. While we're waiting, also a short shout out for a really cool mod that is not yet public on PDX, at least before I started the stream, it wasn't. It might be by now. I asked Yang Yang for something, because I very often have the problem then when I'm using Move It, I need topographic lines while using Move It. There is no way for me to enable that, right? And even outside of Move It, there is a few situations where I really care about topo lines, but I cannot see topo lines. And I asked Yang Yang about it nicely, and look at what amazing mod we have right here. We now have this overlay, and it does not matter what tool you're in, it doesn't matter what you do. You can even toggle this on and go in photo mode, which not super useful. The funny thing is, if you take a screenshot, the topo lines actually are in your screenshot as well, which I don't think there was a way for us to do that before. But I'm loving this. I think it makes planning of areas really easily, where I think it's a lot more difficult without the topo lines. So I'm very happy. I did not imagine to get something to solve this issue nearly as quickly as we did. But yeah, Yang Yang was very quick to touch that subject, and the mod works absolutely flawless. It's super cool. You can drag this wherever you want. I just put it here in the bottom because I think then it kinda looks like it's part of the UI. But great mod. If anybody wants to try this out already, it is also posted in my Discord because it is already on PDX. It is just unlisted. So if you have the link of this, you can already currently sub to it. If you don't, then you can't. But whatever, it will, I'm sure, be public soon as well. And I don't know that mod, to be honest, MND, because I didn't really play much CS1 and I didn't mod in CS1. So I'm unfamiliar with Topo Line mod from CS1. But I guess it probably did the same. And why do we have so little traffic here now? Like exactly when I want people to show us if our pathing works out, nobody is even coming here. I just need a single person to walk through the bottom to judge if our margins are fine. If nobody is gonna walk, we're gonna place traffic spawners or something silly. Or put buildings in both sides. Yeah, we're already speeding up. I mean, this is really cool. Well, she's not taking the bridge. I was gonna say this is really cool because she's gonna take the bridge, but she didn't. Please go down. A single person, please do me the favor, game. I guess we can just try around and have a look at it. Because one of the things I want to try around with is if maybe it's an appropriate fit for us to wall all of these outsides here. What I'm thinking would be something like this. If we want to do this, I would place these as single elements to get prettier corners that we do this way. But I was thinking something like this. And then the question, if we want to do this, would be cool if we could take this exact same wall, but we don't have access to this wall. The question is, if we do this, would we do it this way, the way I just did it there, or would we do it this way to have more access to the plant from the park itself and have it more protected from the street, or even do the ultimate crazy move and box it in from all sides. The issue with this solution and the box solution is that I think here it's gonna look a bit silly. I think especially in those corner ones. This is nice because then we don't need to corner the wall, which I generally think looks a bit silly. It would be doable, like we can picture it here real quick. Like if we really want to corner, then sure, we can also corner. So it's not like this is undoable, but I'm curious what solution you think is the most interesting. Or maybe also none of them. Maybe you decide none of this is perfect. I think I like it. I also think I know which my favorite is, but I'm curious what you say. This one is too much. I agree. I think this is the best solution because it protects the pedestrians here a bit. It frames it a bit, but it leaves it be very open. Oh, you think the wall is good? Okay, curious. I actually think I would have probably decided for this open variant of these two here. Most logical is probably to have them around it on all sides. And what we'd probably do is we would obviously color the netline to at least be close to this visually. And then what we could also do, and I think what we would do here is lower all of these a lot so they're not as high and obstruct the view quite a bit less. So this wall should be lower than this wall. Right now it's higher than this wall. The problem is I cannot place a block down here. I would wish I could just place a block down here, but that doesn't really work. Okay, I go with that. We're gonna close it off fully and lower it. It's gonna be a bit more work building it that way, but who cares? I just want to see a single person walk in the bottom. Why did that happen before and not anymore? Please. Okay, I'm tired of waiting. What we're gonna do is put a school block here. Many people need to go to school, so I guess this is gonna catch some people. And we're gonna make this an elementary. Why can I not turn the snapping off? Okay, there we go. Elementary school, you know what? You're also a high school and you're also a college. Just get me people here, please. Thank you. Now people come and show me the passing. This is probably gonna ruin the education of an entire generation. If they enroll in school here and then I demolish the school and kick them out, what happens to them? Maybe we ruin these people's education, but do we care? Not really. We just care about knowing if our passing is correct. Correct. Okay, there is a lot of people in the area suddenly. A single person walking in the bottom is everything we need. But yeah, so it makes sense that we get little people. It's why I would love to have the actual proper park, right? Because the actual park has a business down here and it has hang around areas down here. So yes, in the actual park, there is a lot of reason for people to go down here. In the static propables, I cannot really fake it and have a reason for people to go there. But again, we just need a single person to show me that the passing works. And if we see a single person working there, then I'm happy. But I guess nobody wants to do me that favor. You cannot, that's the big problem. The blocks, you can only use them on actual roads, not on invisible ones. Else, yes, that would be a very quick and easy solution. But you need an actual road access for the... Ah, ah, ah! Damn it. What we can do, I guess you do give me an idea of what we could actually do. Because while what I said is true, and you need an actual road for those to be on, that road does not have to be connected to anything. The problem here is, though, again, that there is terrain here. The game does not understand that there is no terrain here. We're just faking this, right? So while we could lower the road here, this road in theory would be a tunnel, but we can try it regardless. We can just remove it otherwise. We're gonna place this road here. And now we can put a block next to it. Any block really. Commercial, high density, mixed residential. Perfect. This should get a lot of traffic. Now we connect it to this road, and I would like to connect it on this side to not break the pathing. This is horrible. But I think for testing purposes, this actually should give us what we want. Because now what we have to do is connect this to this road. Now people should have a reason to go there. Obviously, we need to delete all of this nonsense we built there after we've seen somebody go there. But yes, people should now go there. Yes, we don't care. You don't have water or electricity. That's not my problem, is it? That's fine. Even if they, but yeah, you do make a point probably. They can walk that. Yes, actually, that's a very good point because that's not good. That is in fact not good at all. So we need to take this block. We're gonna just put it here, which is probably. Oh my god! Please don't crash. Scary when you see a pop up like that. This will break our pedestrian passing here. So this might actually break our test. Yeah, we have a pass here, which, where is that even from? Yeah, see, there is very weird things happening here. We don't care. We just need a single person to go down here. Even if he flies through the air here, all I need to see is the feet level of a person down in the plaza. And if the like level of their feet is fine, then we're fine. There is people living here, so there is also people who should come in and out of this. Like they are still moving in. They're probably on the way here on some outside connection, but we should see people coming here in a moment. I cannot believe that we had somebody walk down so early without us even trying to. And now I've been trying so hard to get somebody to walk in the bottom, and I just cannot get anybody there. Again, people disappearing is fine. We have the school block here. It makes sense they disappear into thin air. I mean, can we do that? I guess we should be able to do that. If we go here, where are you, sir? Okay, yeah, we can do that. We can follow this gentleman to move in. Because indeed, he is on his way to move in, I guess. Why? The heck? Sir? Why? He was there already, nearly. He nearly arrived. Suddenly, why did he just pour to the... Maybe because the building is broken and they cannot pass find there. See, one household less now. It was 7 out of 7. I'm not gonna follow anybody. I'm just gonna have a look for 2 minutes to see if somebody comes here. Else we need to delete that and clean it up. Yeah, wholeheartedly. What a pain. Like, I thought this would be a quick thing to just see if somebody walks down there. Because we had somebody walking down there. But now, no matter how hard I try to get somebody down there, I can't. I mean, it does make sense, right? Because what is happening here and why the game is struggling so much is the following. Now this is actually lowered, but if you look at it from here, this is what the game sees, right? There is flat ground here, there is nothing, and there is a clipping surface that makes us be able to see what's underground. It's this surface that I put exactly where the wall is. And since the clipping surface clips the ground here, we now see the model that's below the ground. But for the game, there is ground here. The game does not understand that there is a hole below. So obviously, all of what we're doing here is really confusing to the game. Yeah, I know there is a lot of like fake stuff in the game. It does make perfect sense, really. I understand why they do it that way. It just is a reason why I would really like to work with a normal park and not the ploppable. I'm gonna please. No, please. Okay, we might have a bit of an issue. I don't know how we can delete this. Can delete this. We're gonna take the move road and move it out there. It's fine. It's fine. Our last save is not that long ago. In fact, if this is broken, it shouldn't hurt us too much. And I think now we probably should also be able to delete this. Yes. And now we just have to go in and delete this path we drawn in, and now this should be all fine again. The way it was. And actually, see, this is perfect. This actually worked. Now the people that moved in is probably because I'm a brand risk and nobody wants to put ads on my channel, and I can't blame them. But look what happened. We deleted everything, and the people out from the block, they got kicked out. So they now have to use our passes, I think. It's fine enough. Wholeheartedly, I don't think we can get the level any better than this, because with Move It, we don't have the highest level of accuracy. Yeah, she's very slightly floating. Okay, actually, we can try to fix this up a very little, but it's gonna be hard for us to get this much better than it is. Yeah, see, next issue, I cannot get this any better, because to fix this up even closer, we would have to use manipulation mode. Manipulation mode cannot target these nodes here, cause same problem we had before. There is ground here. Manipulation mode cannot touch anything below the ground. So the only way we can adjust this is with normal mode. And with normal mode, we can only adjust the nodes, but not this part here. So really, I think this is as good as we can get it. It is pretty solid, like they're fairly close. I did not know that. Is that the case? Why did I not know that? Untaking the billing won't fix the manipulation mode issue, but is that the case? If so, you would solve one of my biggest issues with this game. Page up, page down goes a lot. Thank you. Honestly, gigantic thank you. I did not know this. It's why I keep telling people so often that I'm shit at this game, because I don't know many of those very basic things that many of you guys know from CS1, but then I didn't play CS1, so I don't know. Maybe I can get it a bit better, but wholeheartedly, I think this is pretty solid. The one point that's not great is the corner of the stairs, but I can live with all of this. None of this is such a big issue that I'm annoyed by it. So as a first thing first, we're gonna go ahead and delete this entire, hold on, we just want the entire block. Yeet all of this out, and we're also gonna yeet this entire leisure block. And now this should be pretty appropriate, and I'm gonna save, and then we're gonna do the wall, and then I think I also will have to stop streaming soon and head to bed. Yeah, same. Like I'm also in the last final moments of my stream. In fact, I actually think maybe I just join you along, and I'm gonna find somebody to raid out right now, because yeah, I also need to head to bed. And I wouldn't do anything other than drawing a few walls in here anyways. But I'm quite happy, even though we didn't do too much, and I yapped a lot today, because we spent a lot of time trying to find out what's wrong with the animated Sims. This area is indeed starting to come together. Like, once we layouted this out, this block is gonna be very quick and kinda build itself. And even though we didn't detail so much here, at least from further away, this is really starting to come together and actually look like a proper build. So I'm pleasantly happy with this, honestly, making some real proper progress on Los Vagos. Slowly and surely, eventually, this actually gonna turn into a build. And with that said, I'm gonna put you in some nice camera perspective while I'm gonna open Twitch in the background real quick and raid you cuties out somewhere. And as always, thank you so much for all of the nice raids we've been getting today. Very, very much appreciated. And thanks for the subs and all of the support. As always, a pleasure to stream for you cuties. Is always a big, big favor or a big honor to me that you guys spend your time with me. And I shouldn't promise too much, but I might already stream tomorrow again. There is some kind of second, not, I shouldn't say Christmas party, but some kind of Christmas party at my sister's place. I'm not sure how soon I will be back home, but if I manage to, I will try to stream tomorrow as well. And otherwise, I hope all of you are having a nice, nice evening and get into the new year well. Yeah, and of course, you have an absolute wonderful Christmas, mate. Because, or not Christmas, New Year's. God damn, I'm getting too tired as well. But yes, have a nice Christmas and get into the new year quick. And after I'm back from my holidays, I'm looking forward to see you guys and stream again as well. And cause I never rated him before, I believe, even though there is other people playing, for once we're gonna go raid City Planner Plays, because I've never yet done so far, and he raided me a few times in the past, so I should return the favor. So again, thank you cuties so much for tuning in, and hope you guys have fun over at City Planner Plays. And wish all of you cuties a nice evening, and maybe I'll be back tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll be back sometime in the next year and